Welcome back to another video. I hope you're all keeping safe and well. Welcome to this Spurs chat video where we are going to be discussing everything that has happened this week. I've got four very special guests with me. I've got Melvin, Gary, Eleanor and Alex. Let me say hello to all of you first. Melvin, how are you doing? How's your week been?
I'm good. You know, the season is over now. Just waiting till the Euros and next season. And yeah, it's been good. Quiet, normal week, I think.
And we've also got Gary from the YouTube channel, White Heart Pain. I tell you what, that saying, Gary, White Heart Pain. I tell you, we've all felt a bit of pain this week, haven't we?
There's a lot of pain this week, mate. I tell you, and that's just watching Sky Sports. It changes by the minute. I just can't bear it. With that and Simon Jordan on Talk Sport, it's 1 minute we got Conte, then we ain't, and then Poch is coming in, he isn't. But yeah, it is what it is. It's Tottenham. It's we don't expect nothing different, do we? So.
We'll get into all of that, Gary. We've also got Eleanor with us from Lily White TV. Eleanor, how are you?
Other than this week being utterly crazy on Spurs front, I'm okay. I mean, been a bit unwell, but I blame that on actual Spurs stress right now.
Yes, indeed. And we've also got Alex with us. Alex, I always love your opinions. Very, very opinionated. And how are you this week?
It's been a good week for me. Relaxing week, but we're going to get into it about Tottenham. So we'll see what happens.
Right, Melvin, let's start with you. Antonio Conte. Of course, a week or so ago, every Spurs fan was raving about Pochettino possibly coming back. Antonio Conte, the club are in talks with Antonio Conte. Your initial thoughts on Antonio Conte? Good manager, the right decision?
It would be, if we can make it happen and if we can get it over the line, I think not only will he push, our cause, the fans' cause, that we want the team to improve and there needs to be investment in the squad. He's an advocate for that. He's going to, fight the board. He's going to fight for new signings, new players to play his style and his philosophy. And, his style and his philosophy works. Look what he did with Lukaku and his Inter squad. They beat Juventus. They won the league, and Inter haven't won the league in 10 years. And if he can somehow come to Spurs and win a trophy, which we haven't done in a while, and it would be a brilliant signing. But will it happen? Will it not? He's going to push the club. If the club doesn't match his ambition, he's not going to come. But he's definitely the right person. I think he's an improvement on Mourinho. He's an improvement on Pochettino. He will probably be one of the best managers we've had in a long, long time. He's definitely qualified to do it. He's done it with Chelsea, and he's a winner. He'll come in, and we said all these things about Jose, and they didn't come through. But if I don't want to say the same things again about Conte, but he is a serial winner. We've said these things about Jose. I don't want to repeat myself and say these things about Conte and then jinx the whole thing. But he is all those things we hoped Jose would be. But I think Conte will actually pull these things off. It's if hopefully he can get the Tottenham board and the Tottenham squad to do these things. But he's definitely the right person for the job, and I hope we sign him.
Gary, let's come to you now. If Tottenham can get this deal over the line with Antonio Conte, how will you feel about it? Is he the right man for the job?
Well, you know how I feel. I said Conte the day after Mourinho was sacked. I said it from day one. And when I first said it, I think people were laughing at me. They just thought it couldn't happen. I mean, it's not happened yet. But I think the difference between Conte and Mourinho, I think, is like the weather. The one's winter and the other's summer. I think it'll be a breath of fresh air if we brought Conte in. I've had a lot of talk about he's very defensive with his football, but I don't think he is. I think he's got very offensive football. I think he'll come in and he'll really shape up the team. It's what we need. I think the difference was when Mourinho came in, it started quite well. We're very defensive, very depressive. And then he isolates out players and just the whole thing was just bad. I don't think it'll be anything like that with Conte, but he's got to be backed. And even as we speak, the deal's not over the line. And why is that? Is Levy not meeting his demands? I mean, if he wants to, I've heard, he wants to bring 7 people in and Levy's saying you can only bring in 4. If he was to bring 12 people in, 20 people, bring them in. If we've got to get rid of Ledley King and Ryan Mason, everyone else, because what have they done for our team in defence? Nothing. Get rid of them and let him bring who he likes. You know, the tea lady. I couldn't care less. We need Conte, because if we don't get Conte and then we're looking at Potter or Parker or whoever else, I don't think things are going to be very good next season. So,
Gary, we will certainly get into all of the details about Conte and the director of football and the way forward. Eleanor, let's come to you. Initial thoughts on Antonio Conte?
So everyone knows I didn't like Mourinho. So everyone tries to compare them, and I'm like, Mourinho was finished 4 years ago. Conte's in his prime now. One was finished at United. One won a title last week. Like, it's like getting Jose Mourinho in his prime. Stop comparing the two. Like that's all I say in it. So for me, yes, 100% get him in. Just like you said, I mean, give him as many people he needs. Does he need 5, 7, 8, 10 people? Bring him in. But I don't think that's his problem. I think they're easy to negotiate. I think backroom stuff and stuff that can get done. But I think it's the general thing that I'm facing here is, what am I supporting at this point? Do I then have to just accept mediocrity? Because if Conte doesn't come, he wants to come, but he's basically telling us, listen, your club has no ambition. So do I? And if he doesn't come, do I then say, okay, what am I supporting at this point? Do I just have to say, oh, we're just hoping for a decent season? Because I'm not supporting a club that wants to win. Like, I'm not supporting a club that wants to do things. It's different if that's not who you want, but we know that's who we want. Like, what I'm trying to say is, if the club wanted Potter, they thought Potter was going to take us to the title, that's different. You're going to go get your top person. But that you're just going down and down your list now because no one's coming because of your ambition. That's all I say about it. But I don't know. It worries me. The whole situation worries me. We all know Mourinho got the job because he came in saying, I can make this group winners. Difference is, Conte is not going to say that. He's going to come in and say, I want 10 people. I only want to keep Kane. I don't want to keep anyone else. And then you have to go and you have to do that. So for me, that there's a difference between the whole Jose thing and why we got a serial winner before and why this one might not go over the line, because Jose sold a full stream, whereas Conte's not gonna chat rubbish. He's gonna tell you, listen, I want this amount. If you don't give it to me, I'm out. So hopefully it's a bargaining tool, and hopefully Levy comes back and says, you know what, yeah.
Eleanor, I can't believe I'm saying this, but you're not quite loud enough. A lot of people can't hear you very well. So
I'm sorry, I thought that was sarcastic. I genuinely thought that was sarcastic in the comments.
No, a lot of people are having problems hearing you. So if you can adjust your volume somehow.
I'll sort it out. But yeah, I'm a bit ill as well, so ignore that. I can't really hear myself, so yeah.
And there was a bit of sarcasm there as well. Alex, let's come to you. Antonio Conte, for you, pleased?
I just need to wonder if I was asleep the last year or so, because I need to go back to seeing what they said about Jose and saying about Conte at the moment. This is an absolute joke, an absolute catastrophe from start to finish. Mourinho getting sacked just before the cup finals, absolute joke. They didn't know what they were doing because there was all those names going down the list and they was picking out the hat. It's an absolute disaster. They got lucky with Conte because Conte decided to leave Inter Milan. He's not right. He's not right for Tottenham. Let's just be honest here. He's not right for Tottenham. Tottenham, okay, need to go back to restructuring the squad. Okay, he wants to win now. Romano said it. Everyone said it. He's like Jose. Jose needs what? He needs money. He needs backing. I mean, it does not make sense whatsoever. Tottenham, unfortunately, have to go back to basics. Okay, restructure the squad and start getting back to the identity. The statement that Levy's just made, he says we need to go and have an identity back. He's going completely opposite. So, I mean, at the end of the day, next season is a write-off. Unfortunately, there's just too much to do because everybody thinks that we need to get rid of this player, this player, this player, this player, this player. That's so much to do in the summer. that is so much work to do in the summer. That's reality. You know, you do the work in January to prepare for the summer. Most of the teams now are starting putting the signings across right now. I mean, it's an absolute joke. And to be honest with you, I'm not surprised that Conte's not coming, because he's looking at him thinking, why do I want to come to Tottenham when you sacked Pochettino and Mourinho, two decorated managers, one that should have got time because he earned it in Pochettino, and one that won everything, even though I couldn't stand him, like Eleanor, which I totally agree with her. The fact is, we haven't got a replacement for him. And it's been 45 days. Shameful. But the point is, why would any top manager want to risk their reputation and come to Tottenham right now? Please, someone tell me right now. Answer the question.
Everyone has an ego. Everyone
Money.
has an ego. No.
So
I don't think Conte's for money. Conte hates Jose. He wants to get one.
Yeah, he'd love to. If he could come into Tottenham and go one better and do one over Jose,
like,
he'd love it, because they've got history.
Look what I did.
Yeah.
You couldn't do that, but look what I did.
They've got loads of beef together. So
honestly, you know what? The manager search is like watching Craig Davis 7 days. You know, Monday you go for Conte, Tuesday you go for another manager, Wednesday you go for another manager, Thursday you go for another manager, Friday you go for another manager, and then all of a sudden
what day did the car break down on that video? That's what's happened to Tottenham now. What day did the car break down?
I mean, my dating life is better than Tottenham's manager search. That's how bad it is at the moment. Honestly, it's an absolute
like
joke.
Said as well. Just quickly, the day after Jose got sacked, I called it would be Conte, and the reason for is what Eleanor said and what I've always said. Conte would love nothing better to bring himself into Tottenham Hotspur with that entourage and get one over Jose Mourinho. And I think a lot would rest on that for why Conte would take that job. I genuinely believe if he takes it, that would be partly the reason. I genuinely do.
He would have done it twice. He would have done it twice.
Yes.
When he came in for Jose at Chelsea and then won the title. And
we've got the managing director. He's here now, isn't he? Director of football. We've signed him. Has that gone through?
Pretty much.
I think that's a game changer. I think that's the interesting part for me. Yeah. I think that's a very interesting part for me to have him, because at the end of the day, we all know about Steve Hitchin. That needs to be sorted very, very quickly. Yeah, honestly. But as I said, like, this just doesn't make sense for me. The club needs to go back to basics for me.
I think it's different. I think it's different to Jose. I think Conte is in his prime. This is getting a prime Conte now that just won a league. It's like saying, listen, I know it didn't work with one serial winner. It doesn't say it's not going to work with another. It's like saying, listen, we are serious. We are going to keep going for the top of the top. We're not just going to go back down and, like, say, back to basics. We do have ambition. And look, we're going to now give this manager what he wants. And I think Jose didn't get backed in a way because he did say and agreed that he can get this team to trophies. And he said it his first day coming in. We can see his reports from before. He said, I've got a great group of players. I don't need transfer. I haven't had transfer talks with the chairman, and they both shared the same sentiment. Then again, we did make the Champions League final. So it was easy to say that. It was easy to be like, oh, Poch was the problem. So for me, when it comes to Conte, he's now seen a whole season of rubbish or whatever gone through our team and knows what he wants to do. So if you want to be successful, you've got to go get Conte because he's there on a free. I don't see why we need to go back to basics unless we are literally going to say, yes, we are never going to be ambitious and we are always going to try.
Well, it's not a case of being ambitious, Eleanor. It's unfortunately it's not going to take 2 years to sort this all out, and that's the reality. Because
do you know what, Alex? I completely agree with you. This is an absolutely huge summer. No matter who comes in, they have really got their work cut out. Even Pochettino, and this is hard for me to even say this at the moment. I wouldn't want him to come to this because at the end of the day, he's coming back to a job that's the same position that he left it. Let's be honest here. Yeah, right? So to be honest, it doesn't make no sense. I can't stand the fact that we're going for people like Potter for goodness sake. It's a joke. And I have to hear about XG. No disrespect to you, Eleanor, because I know you like him, but it's good to see you, by the way, on the stream, by the way. But it's just the fact that it's gone
Alex,
so down now.
I just say I don't want to pretend that I like Potter anymore. I don't want to pretend.
We'll come on to that. Melvin, I want to come to you now. Comment on screen now. Give Antonio Conte his wishes, and there'll be trophies. Simple. Now we all know Antonio Conte is a fantastic manager. He wins trophies, like you said earlier. Serial winner, like Jose Mourinho. Won the league title with Inter Milan. They haven't won a league title for 11 years. But we all know he's very demanding. Is that going to be an issue at Tottenham?
The way Levy has run the club in the last 20 years, it seems to me that anything that's going to translate to money, Levy goes by our motto, to dare is to do. So when it came to the stadium, to dare is to do. When it came to the training center, to dare is to do. We have the best facilities, But when it comes, because that's going to generate him money. So when it comes to the football pitch and it's going to cost him money, it's like the mentality, that will do. This will do, he skims out on 5-10 million. Now is the time to give Conte everything, he needs. To dare is to do. That's the mentality he needs to bring all the fans on board. I didn't renew my membership with Spurs. I'm not a season ticket holder, but I probably lost my place this season. We were on such a massive high coming off the Champions League final, that momentum, and we've lost a bit of that, a bit of the excitement. If Conte is appointed, they need to give him what he needs. They need to get it over the line. We cannot afford, Conte wasn't our first choice manager. Our first choice manager went to Bayern Munich. Our second choice manager probably, is Pochettino. Conte is probably now our third or fourth. If we don't get our third or fourth choice manager, we're going to be stuck with, our fifth or sixth choice manager. They need to do anything to get it over the line.
Yeah.
And they need to match Conte's ambition. We have to get it over the line. What message does this send to Harry Kane if we do not get Antonio Conte? If we don't get Antonio Conte, I'm the first one to say Harry Kane should leave. Because why? Why would he stay? Why would we force Harry Kane to stay with us, knowing that our board is not ambitious enough to get Antonio Conte? Because he is ambitious. Every single club he goes to, he tells them, I want to win this season, not next season. And probably Daniel Levy said to him, listen, this is a project. Probably what he said to Pochettino. You come and we will build season by season and eventually we will something. No, I need to win now. And that's what he probably said to Levy. He said, I need 150 million. I need to get rid of Harry Winks because there's no emotions in football. I'm not going to play these boys that you've brought up through the youth system because you have an emotional attachment to these guys. If they're not good enough, they need to go. And probably Daniel Levy told Ryan Mason to play Harry Winks so his value doesn't fall. He probably told him to play Dele Alli so his value doesn't fall. There's no emotion through football. Conte doesn't have emotions. He's like Mourinho, hopefully, but I think he's a better coach and he's, a bit younger and he's winning more lately. I personally, and this is probably I don't think Jose deserved to get sacked in a way. It's controversial, but I think the players weren't good enough. We had an extremely poor season in defense, but we scored lots of goals. And he was building something that if he had the right recruitment, next season would have went a lot better. With this group of guys, he achieved what he achieved and we move on. But if the Antonio Conte deal doesn't happen, okay, we have a new director of football, but hopefully that will Juventus signed so many free agents on freeze and they won league after league after league. They won 9 leagues in a row with this guy in their board. So hopefully, with him on board, Antonio Conte can come on board as well. And hopefully we will end this curse that, we haven't won a trophy since 2008.
Yeah.
Gary, let's come to you. Jason writes on screen now, if we don't get Antonio Conte, we must all peacefully protest at our ground. Not only a few hundred, but thousands. All people have been conned into renewing their season ticket. I know some people who are, I know a lot of people that are season ticket holders. Some of them aren't very happy with the fact that we don't know who the new manager is. How are you feeling about that?
Yeah, I mean, I think I wasn't sure if it was someone said 45 days, but I think it's been 50 days now, is it? I could be wrong, but I think it's 50 days with no manager. I don't know has that ever happened anywhere else? I don't think it ever has. I mean, it's an absolute joke, the amount of time. But, I mean, it is a bit kind of a coincidence that season tickets had to be renewed yesterday. And then it was kind of a done deal yesterday. Now everyone's done the renewals. Now it's not a done deal today. But I agree with, like, everything Melvin said, absolutely everything. I think, we have to go big. We have to bring Conte in. We have to back him. And we could change the club in one season. There's no reason. Look, we missed out on top 4 by 5 points, right? If you bring Conte in and you bring 7 or 8 people with him, and you've got whatever his face is, the director of football bloke who he was with at Juventus and stuff, so he can hopefully convince him to come in. If them 2 come in, there's no reason why we couldn't get a trophy next season and get top 4. Why couldn't we? Do you know what I mean? If we don't get Conte, first off, I don't know who we're going to get as a manager. And second off, it's not going to sit well with the fans or with Levy. I think this is the last chance and last opportunity. He's got to go all out and bring in Conte. He's already got his right-hand man. We know what he did getting Pogba and, Ronaldo and everything else, And Levy, I think this is the opportunity, and I'm hoping he's getting him in along with the other guys to take a step back, deal with the stadium, deal with the finances, and say, do you know what? I let you lot deal with the players, buying and selling, because I don't really know what I'm doing, because he doesn't. Let's face it. And then hopefully, Chelsea change their manager every year, every 2 years. Why not we do it? If we bring in this guy and he stays with us for a year or 2 and we win a trophy and get top 4, so what? If he goes after a year, I couldn't care less. I'd rather him than Ryan Mason, who's on holiday with Harry Winks, managing our club, because what's the point of having Ryan Mason? And I said to you, Chris, if we would have won that Carabao Cup and got top 4, it probably would have been the worst thing possible, because he probably would have given Ryan Mason the job. And that would have been terrible, because then we would have been stuck with Winks, Sanchez, like all the usual suspects. At least if Conte comes in and you back him, I'm not saying Levy's going to give him 400 or 500 million. We know that. But God, he'd probably only have to sell, the guy upstairs 10% of his shares, and that would raise 300 million. It's not difficult. Don't tell me there ain't money. Do you know what I mean? I mean, Sanchez, Winks, Doherty, if you sold all 3 of them, you'd get 5 million at least.
Eleanor, before I come to you, any of you getting any feedback from the microphones?
I'm not.
It must just be me. I think I'm going to sign out and then come back in. Eleanor, if you could read this super chat out on and discuss it while I do that, if you don't mind.
Okay, don't worry, it's fine. Anyway, so Dean, hi. Our ship is sinking, and instead of fixing the problem, Levy sacks the captain and gets another one in. The ship will sink unless you fix the leak, not the captain. Yeah, it's true, but I just think that we still need a top manager. Like, I still think we need a top manager. Yes, and do you know what? We did have we had a serial winner. Whatever my opinions are, we had serial winner. That's fine. But I do think what mattered a lot with that when he came in is what he said initially. This is why these talks are breaking down now, and there's not. Oh, but I said that to be nice to the players, but behind the scenes, I wanted to be back. Like, there's none of that with Conte. He's coming in and being so straight up and saying, like, I want X amount of players. It's different with Jose and Conte. Now, Jose did need to be backed, but I also think I think we all did. We all overestimated the team. We just made a Champions League final. So I think the circumstances are a bit different now. And I think Conte wants certain assurances. But as you've said, and I couldn't agree more, Chelsea are a team that sack their managers all the time.
Yeah.
I've never seen a team that sack their managers so much, and they're always competing with the top lot. And everyone will be like, oh, well, what about when they finished 10th? Yes, they finished 10th, and then they won the league after. They still managed to get new players. They got Conte. They still managed to do everything, because you know they're going to come back up. But it's different. Why would someone come to you over Leicester? Because we should be the team that is going to come back up, not the Leicester. Leicester shouldn't be the team that's up there. They should be the one that's up there fluky, and we should be the one that's up that will always be around. Yeah, we've had one season out. Oh well, we'll be up there next season. That's the Chelsea mentality because they know they're going to do everything they can. So
you're right.
It doesn't.
Do you know what it is? That Chelsea are brave. They're brave, and Tottenham are not being brave enough. Like Levy and Tottenham need to be brave and back Conte, bring him in and let him do what he needs to do. Both of them together, like they did at Juventus and everything else. I like what you said when Chelsea were 12-14 the next season, won the league, and then the FA Cup, and then he's gone. And you know, like they won the Champions League. If Tuchel don't get anything next season, he'll be sacked. Even though they've extended his contract.
What they do upstairs. What if Chelsea have installed? Okay, their money, whatever. I'm not going to get into how they have their money. That's not.
Yeah.
But what they've installed upstairs is a mentality that no matter who the manager is, our ethos is the same. We want to win. Our ethos is not that, and we need
and they're brave and they take risks, and that's what Tottenham need to do right now.
Take the leap, because this is someone that literally won a Serie A last week. Take the leap right now.
We have to go for it.
You know what?
We have to go for it.
We've got to look at it in two ways. Either we don't get him and fans go mad and we do something about the way we're run, or we get him in and actually see some change. Because for me, it's like, it's different. Everyone's like, oh, he doesn't want to come. No, he wants to come. He just wants ambition. This is literally to us now and saying, your club has no ambition, by the way. Just to let you know, your club has no ambition. It's almost like we're going to be like, okay, that's fine. Let's just see what we can do. No.
Yeah.
We've got to be as fans. We've got to be like, we are a big club. 8th richest club in the world. Might even be a bit more now. You know what I mean? We shouldn't be the club that is sitting there being like, oh, we don't have any money. Let's do this the ethical way. We've got money. We just don't.
Yeah, we have. Yeah.
Eleanor, what do you think Antonio Conte is saying in these meetings? What do you think his demands are to Daniel Levy and the board if he wants to come to the club?
So he's probably got a team sheet out there. I mean, like, listen, I only want to keep Kane, Son, and possibly Lloris. He could go if we're going to get someone else in anyway.
Maybe Højbjerg as well.
Maybe Højbjerg, he can stay. But
and that's it.
Can I bring Ericsson back? Can I get Lukaku as a Kane backup, or so I can play my two up top? Can I get like this is what he's saying, and he's going, listen, I want at least 250 million, and then like, well, you're going to get 100 million if we sell Kane, and he's going, no, I'm not selling Kane, and I think this thing is a very much big situation in this as well. If people will say one player cannot make a manager want to stay, that one player is not normally Harry Kane. That one player being Harry Kane has a big leverage. And I think us saying, well, we're not going to sell him. What if he's going to be like, well, he wants to go. Like, I can't, do you know what I mean? I know he's under contract, but I don't think you can keep an unhappy player. I just think that we've got to, listen, you can bring any striker you want. We sell Kane, you bring a striker. That's a different thing. You can keep it. You can get him on board in that. I just think our ambition is so different. And I think he's sitting here, and I think he wants to come, because if he didn't, by the way, he would have just said no. If our ambition was that low and he didn't want to come, he would have just said no. Why is he taking 2 days? Because he wants Levy to come back with a better offer. And I don't think that's wage. I think that's ambition.
It's difficult though, because when you're watching Sky and stuff like that, it's really hard to listen to them and know what's true, what isn't, and we're all second guessing. It could be an issue with money. It could be an issue with how many people he's bringing over. It could be no issues, and it could just be taking time. It could be already done.
There is that. I just think the Di Maurizio thing is very much on his side. So the Spurs side are all like, it's calm, it's fine, he's coming. And then all the Italian side is like, wait, hang on, he's probably going to say no. And I think it's all from his camp trying to, for me, it's a bargaining tactic. But I worry that we're not going to call him on it. We're going to call his bluff, and then he will say no. That's my fear. But I do think if he didn't want the job, he would have just said no. You just 2 days.
You just don't want Daniel Levy doing like a Grealish, do you? And quibbering over 5 million or something ridiculous.
Exactly. It's PTSD, and I mean, I said from the off, this is like the Dybala situation all over again.
Dear.
That is literally what I.
That was just advertising rights in the end, or something silly, wasn't it?
Image rights,
No, Dybala never wanted to come.
He never.
No, Dybala was about image. It wasn't about image. At the end of the day, he didn't want to leave Juventus.
Right.
He didn't want to leave Juventus.
This is what I
There
mean
was
about
rumors
Sky.
about
You
the
think so
image,
many different
right?
things.
But
It's just
it wasn't.
at the end of the day, I think if we paid them, they would have though.
No, but he
the money's
said
right.
he didn't
Anyone
want
will
to leave
come if the money's
Juventus.
right.
Well, Alex, before I come to you, I just want to talk about the backing is key for this brand new manager, whoever comes in, whether it be Antonio Conte or someone else. But Fabrizio Romano tweeted earlier stating that Fabio Paratici is set to become the new director of football. Now, I was very lucky a couple of days ago to speak to Fabrizio Romano about Paratici and the thought of Antonio Conte coming in. Forgive me if any of you guys have seen this clip already, but I just wanted to play. It's about a minute and a half, just this clip. And if you listen to what Fabrizio Romano says about how important it is that the club do need to back Antonio Conte if he does come in. So check this out.
He's giving value to the players. He's changing everything in the club. He's changing the mentality in some players. Imagine that Inter were not winning anything in 11 years, never won the league in 11 years, and then they won the league with Antonio Conte. They were 23 points behind Juventus before Antonio Conte arrived, and now they are like 14 ahead of Juventus. So imagine how we could change the situation. But you need to be 100% clear on the project with Antonio Conte. So that's why today and tomorrow they're continuing to discuss, and let's see if they can arrive at an agreement.
Is it fair to say then that the three key points here are about his wages, the project, and the backing?
Yes, for sure backing is key. For sure backing is key because he wants to be always on the same point, So that's why I say that having Paratici will be important because Paratici knows Antonio Conte, knows how much he's suffering when he's not winning a match. Because really, to manage Antonio Conte, you have to understand that also when he's just not winning one single match or losing one match, he's getting crazy. He can't accept that you are not winning a match. So this is Conte mentality, it's a winner mentality. And that's why also having a part of the board with Fabio Paratici, who knows him, who knows how to manage Antonio Conte in the complicated moments, is so important also because it's not Italy, it's another country, it's another football. Premier League football is totally different, and Antonio knows about it because he was amazing at Chelsea. But his first season at Chelsea, it was great. Also, the relationship with the board in the second season was a big problem. So having Paratici could be like something sure to back him 100% in everything involved in the Tottenham project. That's it.
Alex, let's come to you. The Tottenham project. Now it's all about the backing. Will he get backed?
I don't believe so, because where's the money coming from? Because that money could have been used to back Jose, and that's my question. You see, I just need to say something as well, because I'm absolutely fed up to the back teeth of hearing about Kane. Kane is not the issue here. Kane has never been the issue. Firstly, I just need to say he's got 3 years left on his contract. We've focused so much on Kane. I think the club are too focused on Kane as well. And the fact is, we have got no plan without him, even with him at the moment. It screams out to me 2008, 2009, when Berbatov left. It screams out completely, because we did the same thing with Berbatov. We were talking about Berbatov all day, all summer. And then we left it to the last minute, and then we just got a wasted deal with getting a swap deal and some money, and we were messed up after that. So the fact is, we need to start thinking about the team, and that's the problem with Tottenham at the moment. We haven't been thinking about the team. Pochettino had a strategy of having a team mentality, a squad mentality. He was saying you're not as best as your worst player. At the moment, all I hear from Tottenham fans, like Arsenal fans now, I don't want this player. I don't want that player. I don't want that player. That's not a squad. That is not a squad. Literally, the FA Cup final, Leicester win the FA Cup final, stung me because I was talking about Leicester how many years now, because they were buying players and they're buying them for cheap, and they're doing their diligence on players, doing everything that was right, that Tottenham should be doing right now. We're talking that we want to be like Chelsea. We're nowhere near Chelsea. Nowhere near. And that's where we're completely going the wrong way about it. Now, to be honest with you, we've got no choice here, because at the moment we've got no plan. So if they want Conte, they're going to have to make sure they give the money to Conte at the moment. But the point is that it's quite simple. If you don't do what Conte wants, he's off. he's off because look at what's happened at Inter Milan. He said he's won the championship, and he said, "What's going on? I want more players. Don't want to give him no players." He's off. That's what Romano's saying basically. You need to back the guy. You need to back him, because if you don't back him, forget it completely. So
that's what worries me, Alex. The fact that I think that Antonio Conte is a fantastic manager. You know, he's won all these trophies. You know, he's won 5 league titles in the last 7 years. It speaks for itself. But if he's not backed properly, you know, whether it be Antonio Conte or whether it be you know, another manager coming in, if they're not going to be backed properly, then what?
Chris, I just want to say this though, because we spoke when we met each other. By the way, that was the best. That made my day. Seeing you, Dave Harris, and Matt Hayes. Honestly, it was just made my day. But I said to you, we are sleepwalking into a relegation battle next season. Honestly, if we do not sort this out, because it was the same result 2008, 2009, right? And you know what? Teams that are not organised, right, like Tottenham are right now, we are really in big trouble. And the fact that we have 45 days, which is shameful, and I called it straight as soon as Mourinho got sacked, I said, and even my dad said it, they don't know what they're doing. And as soon as all the days were going past, I said, they don't know what they're doing. Like, I heard all the names under the sun, they don't know what they're doing. And then Pochettino came out, I was like, oh my gosh, this is becoming pathetic now. So honestly, they just need to sort it out right now. The director of football, that's the right way going forward for me. But they do need to sort themselves out right now, because there are teams that are going to go ahead of them right now, and I'm worried. We're worried about Arsenal going in front of us. I want to win the championship, mate. I want to win the Premier League, mate. I don't want to be worried about being above Arsenal. Yeah. Oh, that's more mentality. That's what Pochettino said to us. Do you really care about Arsenal? No. I want to win the Premier League. You know what? If we win that Champions League, you watch Arsenal fans. They'll be on the floor. Would have been on the floor because they were worried. And they're not worried about us anymore. We're a joke.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry. I've got to be honest, because I've had to just say, Tottenham fans need to wake up. No disrespect to everybody here, but they need to wake up, because honestly, it's getting a joke now. Some of the things I've seen, and it's honestly, I can't say any more than that, and that's it. So yeah.
Melvin, let's come to you. Comment on screen now says our club has no ambition, but we do have the money as they're billionaires. Now, do you think
I don't agree with that statement that's written there. When you say our club has no ambition and they have all the money, because you have to look at things. You know, we're in a global pandemic, right? The club spent £1 billion on a stadium to generate revenue. In a year and a half, that stadium has generated nothing. So the club is ambitious. We have the best stadium in England, if not Europe. And that was to generate revenue so we can compete with the oil money of Manchester City, with the Russian money of Chelsea, right? So the club has ambition. If there was no COVID-19, the club was showing signs of its economic growth, and it was starting to flex its financial spending. But the pandemic crippled us. We lost 200 million, and we have £1 billion sitting in North London doing nothing. So we can't say the club has money and they're not spending. The club is trying to be creative of how to win football matches again. Listen, I'm not happy with what's going on, but you have to look at things the correct way. You have to think, you know, we lost 200 million in a year and a half through match day income. We had one of the best match day revenues in England. When COVID is over, Tottenham will start to flex its financial power. Believe me, if COVID didn't happen, we probably would have backed Jose with 150 million. If COVID didn't happen and Jose got sacked, we'll probably tell Conte, don't worry, we have another 150 million for you to spend. You know, so the club appointing the Juventus board of director, I forget his name. He's he has probably one of the best records, which probably Levy saw. He signed 8 or 9 world-class players for free.
Yeah.
Pogba, Levy probably saw that, and in his mind, he looks at him like a god. This guy
Ronaldo
signed
as well, isn't it?
Pogba for free. He signed so many free transfers, and he
Yeah.
thinks, let me bring him to Spurs and see what we can do together. You know, somehow sign a few free transfers that can make us into compete again. You know, we have to walk again before we can run. We've been out of the Champions League for 2 seasons. Usually without COVID, that cripples a club. Look what happened to Arsenal. They've been in the Europa League for 4 or 3 years. That cripples the club. We've been out of the Champions League for 2 seasons.
One.
Sorry, 2. 1 or 2? 1 season.
One.
Sorry, 1 season.
One. It feels like 2, but it's only been 1.
It's only been one.
Like
1 season without Champions League football. That revenue that we've lost, you know, the profit we've made from our Champions League run, that went away very, very quickly because we spent that summer on Lo Celso and Ndombele. So the recruitment has been very, very poor. We have money, we've spent it poorly. You know, Leicester spent it better than us. West Ham spent it better than us. You know, that's why we need a board of directors. The club recognized it made a mistake with Pochettino. It recognized that Hitchin is useless.
Yeah.
You know, so in my opinion, we're starting to move in the right direction. We've recognized we've made mistakes, and we're trying to fix them. And you're not going to fix them by spending 150 million. You have to spend them by selling whatever assets we have that we don't need. You know, wings,
Melvin.
And we move forward. We have to walk before we can run.
I think that spending that sort of money this summer is unrealistic, and I think
knowing Daniel
is going to want to sell some of these players to bring some of the money in. But you've got to remember that Pochettino didn't spend a penny in 518 days. So
no, honestly, I get what you're saying. Oh, we're going in the right direction. I'm sorry, but like you said, we went how long without a transfer? Yeah, we are what, the 8th richest club in the world. We can spend more than we have. I do understand that we haven't.
There's a difference between value.
I'm not going to seriously say Enoch have backed our managers because no, they haven't. Right?
We're not the 8th richest club in the world. We're the 8th most valuable club. There's a difference.
Well, that means
our asset is in the stadium. We have £1 billion sitting there generating nothing. It's not we're the 8th richest club in the world. We're the 8th most valuable club of the world. And Pochettino built that squad.
Let's talk about before the pandemic. Let's talk about before the pandemic then. What about when we finished 2nd and we didn't back our manager? What about all of that? There was no pandemic. We had fans in the ground.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, why
the priority at the time, it wasn't on the squad.
They have no ambition. Like
I was going to say.
And also, Melvin, can I just say something? But Melvin,
I don't support a business.
Exactly.
Like,
but Melvin,
when Arsenal built their stadium, they sold most of their players. The season we built our stadium, we spent 150 million on players. We bought Lo Celso in Ndombele, and we bought a couple of more players. The season we spent 1 billion on a stadium. The
thing is, what a lot of fans are upset about is exactly what Ellen has said. And I completely agree 100%. When we were so close of challenging for the Premier League title, which all of us fans want, all 5 of us want Tottenham Hotspur to win the Premier League. Yeah. Now, do you feel that winning the Premier League is any different to finishing 2nd, 3rd, or 4th in terms of what the board want? Is it any different for them? Because for me, I just think that they want that top 4 finish every time.
Yeah, that's why they sacked Jose, mate.
That's from the top.
Exactly.
From the top, and their ambition isn't right. There's a difference at United. Every season, even if they don't do it right, it's seen as a bad season if they don't win something. And that's why they're always under so much pressure. Yeah, they haven't won since Jose was there, and that's why everyone keeps going on about it. They put a thing that their fans want to win every year. They want to win something every season. We do not do that. Our thing is, let's compete at the top flight. Like we're still at, like we're this little club. We just want to be in the Champions League. We just want to take part. No,
Yeah.
I want to have the ambition of winning things. And I'm sorry, I don't think we are. We make out we are so poor, but we're not. We have money to do more things. Don't get me wrong. I agree that we spent a lot of money on rubbish, and I do think we need a director of football. And I think Levy step away from everything football and just do the business side. I agree with that 100%. But what I don't agree with is that we couldn't have done more. That's to me, that's total rubbish. We definitely could have done more to back our managers and actually win something.
Yeah.
And I think
we've definitely got the money, because if you're talking about bringing in Mourinho, what was he on? 10-15 million a year. You sack him, you pay him off, and already.
Oh, that's the point. That is the point. You just said it just there. I mean, we sacked Pochettino, right? Paid him off.
Yeah.
A pandemic hits. We have to renegotiate and pay him off again.
Yeah.
I mean, that's waste. That's wasting money. That's wasting money.
You then sack Mourinho, and you're now looking at Conte, which is probably going to be more expensive than Mourinho.
Exactly. So that's wasting money.
It doesn't matter.
He's got the money, isn't he?
All right, I'm not gonna lie. I don't like it when we jump up and down and say Levy masterclass. He saved 5 million on a player. I don't care what he saved. I genuinely do not care what you've saved on a player. I don't want to jump up and down and celebrate your money or your losses. You spent too much money sacking a manager. I don't care. Go sort it out and get another one. It's you got yourself in this mess. You fix it. We are in this mess.
What everyone talks about. Everyone
didn't back us. We are in this mess because we are in this mess.
Well, you could have backed him. You could have backed the manager, though. You could have backed the manager rather than having to sack him and then having to use all the money and say, "Oh, I've got no money now." And that's why I can't have it. That's why I don't like that.
Is that why the director of football is coming and we're getting Conte in? Are we doing that now because Levy said, you know what, I've got it wrong the last few times. So we're bringing in director of football. We're bringing him to get in Conte. They're going to do what they did at Juventus. I'm going to take a step back. I'm going to deal with the finances in the stadium, and I'm going to let them do the buying and selling the players. Maybe that is what is happening right now and is what needs to happen. Yeah. Because I'm
Gary,
Gary, we have to bring in Conte.
Eleanor, I'll come to you in a second. Gary, I just wanted to say that's a very, very good point, because this director of football coming in, I just wanted to ask your opinion, what you think will change and what responsibilities you think he will be given, because bearing in mind, under Daniel Levy's ownership at the club, Paul Mitchell, Franco Baldini, Damien Camoli, David Pleat and Frank Arnson, they've all had chances. So what's going to be different this time around, in your opinion?
I think they come as a pair. I think it's massive that he's appointed him. I think him by doing that, he's in a way, not admitting he's got it wrong, but he's saying, look, I need to not get as involved as much, take a step back. And I think by bringing him in, that's our ace card, because I do think because we've got him and he has something pretty much, we are going to get they'll come as a pair. And if we didn't have him for before, then there's a strong possibility he wouldn't have got Conte. But listen, look, I get everything Alex is saying. He's right. He makes some points. Melvin, I totally agree with a lot of what you say. But like what Eleanor said, and like what I'm saying, this is the time now to be brave, make a statement, and bring in a big manager. You can't go from sacking Poch, sacking Jose Mourinho, to bring in Parker or Potter. What message does that give out? You know, you have to bring in, and the fact that he's, you know, he's controversial and he, you know, what he says he wants, he gets all that. Good. We want that. I don't want a yes-no man like Ryan Mason who's sunning it in Portugal with his mate Harry Winks. That's not what I want. I want Conte to come in and be an arsehole and piss off the players and say, listen, you've got to lose 2 stone of weight. What's this way? Darker, you've got to lose weight and then become a decent player. Because at the moment, they're all being wrapped up in cotton wool. They're all getting second, third, fourth chances. And we've all had enough. I'm sick of it. Bring Conte in and let him piss off everyone. And get rid of Ledley King. And get rid of Ryan Mason. Because what's Ledley King? Listen, great player. Fantastic. What's he done for our defence since he's come in? He's been rubbish. Get rid of him. Let Conte replace him with one of his boys. And let's be brave. Or if not, we'll just be like we normally are. Let's do what Chelsea does. Why not? Why shouldn't we?
No, this is what I'm saying. But what annoys me is when we finished second, right? That to me is a time to add and push. We didn't. Yes. That shows exactly what our balls are about. They want to
just go for it now.
Stay where we are. They just wanted to stay where we are. There was no risk to actually win that title. None of it. That is the pinnacle point when you realize what your club is about. Your club is not about going on and pushing to win. Your club is about being around that area. And that's what happened. We finished second. We got to a Champions League final, and we just like we okay. Champions League final. You probably will argue that you backed him. All right, whatever. Yeah, I'll give you that summer. The summer before was pinnacle. That was literally winning the league, and we were so close. And you do not give 2 transfers with no signings. And I think now we're in this mess because of the overhaul, 5 years of not really properly, not properly refreshing. I mean, Sir Alex Ferguson, or virtually want to say whatever you want to say about him, he said you cannot go season after season with the same players, most of the same players for 5 years. Like
even Pep says it. Pep says it all the time, doesn't he?
You need to overhaul because players cannot be with the same coach for that long and the same club and everything. You need to keep overhauling. That's when your club shows ambition, the amount you're overhauling. We were happy to just be in around the mix. There's where my problem is. And now we're in that mess because of that time. Now you put your money where your mouth is and fix what you did because we're here because of you. We don't do it. It's the ball that put us in this mess. So they need to now back our manager, get a good manager and get a world-class manager.
Can I just say?
Go on, Melvin.
Can I just say? I think the club. Now, this is honestly how I feel. My opinion. It's not. I don't think everyone should agree, but it's my opinion. I think the club had a plan years ago, 5-10 years ago, that they wanted us to become Champions League regulars and challenge for the league. But the stadium was a pinnacle in that plan. So Pochettino coming in, I think he became, the bad guy because he succeeded so well while we were still at White Hart Lane. It sort of reflected poorly when we did in his last season. He became like, how do you say, like, because we've done so well, I think he was ahead of the plan. I think Levy expected us to become league challengers and become regulars in the Champions League after the stadium was built, after we've settled in. He didn't expect us to challenge for the league when we were still at the old White Hart Lane.
Yeah,
he didn't expect it. He didn't expect it though. Okay, we did. None of us. Sorry. Can I speak? None of us expected us that we were going to challenge for the league that season with the team we had, with the squad we had. Pochettino built what he didn't inherit anything. He built it. He inherited a poor squad, and through hard work and through his ethic, he got us to a Champions League final. He didn't need money. He did it out of pure training and physical, and he drilled them so hard that it became second nature to that squad, that team, that we beat teams 4-5-0. We beat Everton. We beat major clubs. We made them look foolish at times. And it wasn't through spending money. It was because we had this core group of players for so long, but that only happened for 4 or 5 years. Eventually, the team broke. Some of those players were exhausted. Some of those players were mentally drained from double and triple training sessions. And eventually, the team deteriorated because Levy didn't add players at the right time, because we were building the stadium. We were moving out of White Hart Lane. That was the priority for the club at the time, and for us and for Chris, going to White Hart Lane and recording the videos of the stadiums and the panels and all of this. Everyone was excited.
The panels.
And we sort of, let the foot off the gas and not thought about what's really important is the squad. Yeah. And that's what we're suffering from. We're suffering from a period where the focus wasn't on the pitch. It was, the stadium, the training center. That's what we're suffering from. And now that that's done, everything is about winning. Going forward, it's about paying that stadium and winning. And it showed the club's ambition because they hired Jose. The club has ambition and it wants to win. But it's not about throwing money.
We will come to in a second.
It's not.
So I'm asking the question.
We're not Manchester City. We're not Chelsea. We don't have oil money. The club doesn't have money like other clubs. We don't.
Okay, no, wait. So can I ask you a question? You fully believe now we're going to be totally a football club and we're totally going to back our managers? That's what you fully believe now?
Sorry?
You fully believe now that we're going to totally back our managers and we're going to put everything into the football now since the stadium's built? That's what you fully believe?
Levy's always been consistent. He will always run the club to be self-sufficient. You know, look at Inter. Look at Inter. They just won the league and they spent tons of money. Then the owner said, listen, we've lost 80 million. We need to sell now. Levy wants to build a team that can compete and be self-sufficient, not win. Okay, let's say we spend 150 million, 300 million. We win a couple of trophies, but next season we have to sell it all away because it's not self-sufficient. But at least we win the trophies this season. We're building slowly to become that team where we're self-sufficient and we're financially stable. In 20 years' time or in 10 years' time, when the stadium is paid off, we will become that team. We will be capable of competing with Man City and Chelsea financially, which is what football, sadly, is all about. It's all about money. You can spend the most money. It makes...
Yeah, Melvin, Eleanor's asking, do you think that Daniel Levy will back the new manager this summer? And if he is going to back the manager, what sort of fund do you think
he will back the manager as capable the club financially can. If it's lost 200 million, it needs to be creative. How it took 175 million loan from the bank, which it needs to pay next year. And it probably has the loan of the stadium, so that's another 25 million that it needs to pay.
Yeah.
So I don't know where all this money is coming from. That we're a rich club. We're a valuable club, but we're not a rich club.
Melvin, I do agree with you there because that's reality. Okay, because everybody deludes themselves, or maybe should say a different word. But think that we're living in in a different world where we've got loads of money somewhere in the treasure chest somewhere. It's not like that. I do agree with you. Where I don't agree with you is that Leicester have done it the right way, and they're similar like Tottenham, right? And they've had a good scouting network, right? And as for me, we should be doing what Leicester have been doing, okay? The way that we've been run, and the thing that really tips it all off, especially about the manager search. Why is Steve Hitchin looking for the manager, by the way? Why is he looking for the manager?
I don't know.
Honestly, as soon as the goal said it, I was just like, "You having a laugh?" Honestly, I thought it was having a joke.
All I remember is
April, first April
transfer window.
I was just like, "What the hell?" But anyway, moving on. But what I'm saying is, you are correct. But Daniel Levy has messed up badly. 20 years. And he's still not got it right. Leicester have come up from the Premier League, right, and won a Premier League already, and won an FA Cup, right? Because the owner believes in the club, okay? He loves the club, right? And he knows how to use a strategy. Levy makes a statement saying the thing is the whole thing with Mourinho was terrible from the start because we had why we let in those goals last minute of the matches. Was it last minute 15 minutes? Last 15 minutes of the match, basically. Basically, we used to do this scientific thing about fitness and stuff. Yeah, Pochettino was hot on it. Okay, he never ever put a player on if they weren't fit, really fit. Right, that's why he did those training sessions like you were talking about and everything else. Jose Mourinho comes in, he thinks, "What's this? What's this?" Right, and he just kept on playing players, whether fit or not, just kept on playing them. That's why they were not fit. As soon as Jose Mourinho left, they wanted to go back to that, right? And that's the point. Why are Leicester always scoring last 15 minutes of the match? Because they got fitness at the end of the match, haven't they? All the time. Why are Manchester United always scoring last 15 minutes of the match, getting back every single time when they're 2-0 down, 1-0 down, and winning the game 2-1, 3-2? Because they got fitness in the match. Because when Jose Mourinho was in charge, what happened to Luke Shaw? Luke Shaw was useless, right? He even had an interview with BBC. Said, "Oh no, I hated it."
Can I ask you something? How far off do you think we are as a club of being a top 4 contender? How far off? Because we're only 5.
Long way, mate. Long way.
How?
Long way.
We're 5.
Long way.
I disagree.
Long way.
I don't think we're far off.
No, listen,
I don't think we're far off.
I disagree. I think if Conte comes in, I predict this now. If Conte comes in and we've got the director of football already and stuff like that, I think we could get top 4 next season. We was only 5 points from it, and we were terrible. So was everyone else. I think if Conte comes in, we could get top 4 next season. No reason why we couldn't.
Let's come back to that point. I want to go back to Eleanor a minute. Roy Price writes on screen, Daniel Levy only has a vision to sell. To land Antonio Conte, Levy needs to guarantee a war chest for players, and Conte may be happy to give it a season to build. Now, Eleanor, we know Antonio Conte's record. We know from Fabrizio Romano, when I spoke to him the other day, and Antonio Conte wants to go to a club and he wants to win straight away. Now, do you think, as a Spurs fan, he will get time? And do you think he will actually want to come in that first season and build the squad? You know, because he's a winner. He's a born winner. He wants to win straight away. So do you see him saying to himself, well, actually, in the first year, perhaps I will build at Spurs, and in the second year, perhaps we'll win something?
He wants to win now. He wants to win now. And to be honest, I think every fan should as well. That's what I don't understand. Why should I be okay with not winning? Like, I'm not okay with not winning. So, yeah, I want to win now as well. Me and Conte, we share the same. We share the same ambitions. So I don't know why we can't, as fans, collectively share that ambition. What annoys me, okay, we you know, Melvin was talking about, you know, Poch created this team and he had these players and he trained them hard. Do you remember our DOF at the time? Do you remember why he left? Does anyone here remember why he left? Because working with Daniel Levy is a nightmare. And that's when everything started to go wrong, was when we lost our DOF because he couldn't buy players that he wanted, because working with Daniel Levy is a nightmare. Now, and that was doing it the proper way. We were buying young, training them up, and, you know, we had a young, hungry team and we weren't spending a bomb. Then our DOF left. Then we had Hitchin, and then it all went downhill. So at the end of the day, no matter what you say, we had a DOF there that was working very well, and it wasn't, and it didn't, you know, it went wrong because he worked with Levy. So I think that's enough. That's enough proof for me there that working with Daniel Levy is a bit of a difficult task for any DOF in this position. And then he went off to Leipzig, I'm pretty sure, and built quite a decent team at Leipzig. So end of the day, unless we're going to get a DOF in and Levy's going to back him, there's again no point of that, because we've seen that go wrong in the past as well. So he's got to now literally start realizing, okay, I'm messed up. Let me start fixing this and give whatever Conte wants. I'm a fan that wants to win. I don't care about a project. I don't care about waiting 20 years to win the title. I would rather win the title next season. Why wouldn't I?
Yeah, I'll be dead in 20 years.
But I don't think you're missing the point. You're missing the point, though. I understand about the director of football, which I completely agree with you. But the thing is, though, like I said, I don't think you understood what I was trying to say earlier. The principles are still not right. You see what I'm saying? Like I said, this scientific fitness thing is a main thing here. He even mentioned it in his message to the fans. He said we've gone past our we didn't go past our principles, and you can see why were we deteriorating all through that season. And I'm not going to talk about the early part of the season when we're top of the table, because we know why we're top of the table, because of Harry Kane and Son. That was the only reason. And I wasn't hiding from that as well. Also, Haywork, for instance. But we were so knackered from every single match. At the end of the match, 15 minutes, we were so tired mentally that we kept on letting in goals all the time. And I'm sorry, that is a major point here we're talking about.
The problem is that, yes, we were doing very well when we had Poch and we were second, and all of that was because we had a good DOF and we were doing it like Leicester, we were recruiting well. But the reason why he left is more damning as to actually him leaving. The reason is my problem. The reason why.
I totally agree with you. But it'd be interesting to see what's the deal between the I can't pronounce his name. I'm going to say his name, but the DOF that's probably coming
Fabio.
in. Fabio.
I'll
say Fabio.
Say Fabio.
I'll say Fabio. It'd be interesting to see what the deal is with him, because he's not stupid. He's not stupid because, like, let's be honest here. That thing, what happened with Jose Mourinho, did make a big statement in terms of what we are like as a club.
Yeah.
Let's hide from it, right? What we think about Jose, and I'm going to stick to what I said about Jose because I didn't like him at all. Right? I was wrong that he should have got sacked at the end of the season and made sure we had somebody in. I'll stick with that. Yeah, I know, but still, we didn't have a replacement for him enough. So that's the point. That's the problem I have with it, unfortunately.
Anyway, yeah, go on.
But my point is that that is really bad what we did. After with a winner like Mourinho, and that's going to send a message out to people and looking at it and thinking, would I really want to risk my reputation come to Tottenham, knowing that sort of behaviour is going to happen? And that's the problem. So there's going to be some things that need to be in contracts at the moment, unfortunately. And I think Levy's going to have to stick to those things.
I want it written down. I want it. Give him 200 million. I want it in the contract.
But Alex, I don't think that will put managers off because, like I said earlier, with Chelsea, they're renowned for being ruthless.
But Chelsea back their managers, though, mate. That's the problem.
This is what I'm saying. This might be
they back their managers, and they've got an owner. They've got proof. They've got proof that they back their managers.
But this is what I mean. This is what I'm saying. This could be a turning for Tottenham now. This whole thing with with Fabio coming in and signing Conte and stuff. This could be the time where we change. We've been ruthless. We sacked Mourinho a week before a final. We bring Conte in. He would love nothing better than to get us top 4, win us a trophy. And why couldn't he? I couldn't see no problem in that. It's definitely doable. Why not?
We just have to watch his space. We have to watch his space because at the end of the day, like I said, over the last 5 years, it's proven not to be like that. So we can't. I mean, Chris, do you agree with me what I'm saying, or are you disagreeing with me? Because I love to see your face because you're saying it's the trophies I can't win it. You know what I mean? You've been saying that the last couple of weeks, haven't you? So
Do you know what? I've agreed with a lot of Eleanor's thoughts today, and I've agreed with some of yours as well. That's quite worrying. But
you know what, Chris? I'd love to have David Harris here. I'd love to have David Harris here. Yeah, honestly, if he was here, honestly, but honestly,
I completely agree with Eleanor in the fact that back the manager, because previous managers haven't been backed when we've been so close. And you spend that little bit of money. Perhaps we could have had a trophy in the cabinet. And I know a lot of people joke with me about trophies because I go on about trophies so much. But again, Eleanor's mentioned about the trophies. I completely agree. All of us support Spurs. We want to see the glory. We want to see the trophies. I want to be seeing the bus going down the high road of all the players parading trophies. That's what we want to see. That is exactly what we want.
I don't want to see Leicester bloody win a bloody FA Cup.
No,
you know what I mean. I don't want to see. That's ridiculous. That's like I said. That hurt. That really hurt.
Alex, let me read Danny's comment out, and thanks so much for your comment, Danny. Big hello to the main man with the best smile on YouTube. That's got to be you, Alex. All this crap and crazy news, and Alex can still give us a smile.
Yeah, I love Danny. Danny, yeah, I know him very well. He's really good. Big up to him. Big up to the crew there. You know what I mean? So, but like I said, it's. I want to be positive because at the end of the day, we've got really no choice at the end of the day. This at the moment, I don't think there's any other option. And I do agree with people that I don't want Potter, and I do not want Parker. And Ten Hag, I wasn't sure about as well.
It's got to be Conte, hasn't it? To lift the fans and everything, it has to be.
I wasn't sure. So to be honest with you, I had no idea who the manager was going to be anyway. But if Conte is the guy, we just got to go out and get him. And I don't agree with certain players in the squad because I think Davis is a good player. I know people don't agree with me, but I still put Davis.
Ben Davis is all right.
I understand about Harry Winks. Ndombele, he's quality, and I tell you now, you haven't seen the best of him yet. Honestly, listen, you haven't even touched the surface. You've not even touched the surface with him.
Don't you
at
think
the moment.
If Conte come in, he could get the best out of Ndombele because I know there's a great player in there.
I think at the moment, I think a lot of players are getting their own way too much.
Yes,
I did not like. Whether what you liked about Mourinho or not, I did not like the way they were acting. especially after the Europa League. Oh my gosh, I was devastated after that because I thought we could have won that. Easily. Honestly, see Villarreal win the bloody Europa League. We should have won. We should. I mean, Man United were just—they were lucky.
Ridiculous.
That was ridiculous.
Yeah,
honestly. But look, that's another story. But what my point is that we've got some fantastic players still. Yes, it does need a rebuild. We just need to say the foreign player rule. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We need to get rid of a lot. I'm not being, that's a rule for European squads out. Europe, the amount of foreign players you've got, unfortunately, and homegrown players. But the point is, there's some players that do need to be moved on.
Yeah.
Yes, they do. But the point is that we need to do good recruitment. Now, if this guy's going to do that and have a strategy in place of doing that and have to do the due diligence of getting these players in, because that's what a good club does, a top club does, And if Leicester are doing it, and they've done it for how many years now, why are we not doing it? It's ridiculous. Even Aston Villa are doing it better than us now. I mean, I don't need to say any more, really.
Yeah.
Eleanor, let's come to you. Comment on screen now for you. Eleanor, I love your passion and you're spot on about how our club is being run. I was born and bred in Tottenham and want us to be the bride and not the bridesmaid. That saying, I keep hearing that again and again and again. If you think over the years of how many semi-finals that we've been in and finals that we've just failed to win trophies, it's frustrating, isn't it?
Yeah, sorry about that, but my laptop died, so I went and got my charger. But yeah, hi, I'm back. It's very, very frustrating. I think that's the problem here. And don't get me wrong, I do agree with some parts of we had our chances to win things and we didn't take them. I do get that. So it's not, you can't blame Enoch for a final. Is what I do want to be fair and say that when our players haven't stepped up when we have had the chances. But my problem is in the fact that generally our ethos is about getting in the top four and not prioritize. You need to win a cup this season. You need to win something. Like that's not a priority at Tottenham. And I get it. It's because of money and we want to be in the dining and I get top four, gets you dining in the top table of, of European football and everything. But as a club that's not won something, we need to prioritize winning as well as top four, and we can do that. And I think, like we said, getting Conte is the perfect fit for both. And at the end of the day, Conte without any European football properly, I know like the Conference League, it's not like proper football, European football. So, he does things in leagues. But he wants to be able to be assured, I'm going to get that same feel from the board. You're going to 100% back me. I'm going to back you. We're going to work together to win a league title this season. That's what he wants. And that's what we want as fans, I think, anyway. We want to win it. Now, at the end of the day, I think we've always been a bit off. We've always been off, like a little falling short. Now, I think that's just a thing that leaks from the top. I think the board have leaked into us from the top, into the managers, into the players, into the fans.
A bit Spursy.
Top four is fine. It's all come from the board. No, the big top six club has that same feel that we have, that it's fine if we don't win anything. I mean, Conte had a comment before, ages ago, where it was like, at Tottenham, it's a hope to win something. When you're at other clubs, it's got to be done. And I think that's the problem. And I think, don't get me wrong, you do need recruitment. But as I said, we had good recruitment and they left because of our owners, even though we had good recruitment that was recruiting young, not buying absolutely everyone. So I just think if we don't get Conte, it's a message to the fans. Look, this is what your club is run like. And I think that's when we need to start really cranking up these protests, even just see some ambition. So I think if we don't get Conte, it says a lot to us. That's your club is not run to win. Your club is run to just be a business. And I think that's the problem. That's the problem I have with it anyway.
Melvin, let's come to you. Thomas writes on screen now, we could sign Lionel Messi tomorrow and it would still not be a better move than hitching out. Now, of course, it's expected that Fabio Paratici, will sign for Spurs, in the coming days, but it's not been confirmed yet whether Steve Hitchin will stay at the club. What are your thoughts?
To be honest, I don't even know. I don't remember the exact time within our club where Steve Hitchin all of a sudden came in just all of a sudden with the Amazon documentary, you know,
Just
everyone
popped up.
started, because you can't really put your finger on it. With
Nah.
season, he came in. All of a sudden, transfers were starting to be a bit iffy with like Nkudu and all these guys and Jetson Fernandez and, you know, and all of a sudden people start to take notice of this guy Hitchin, and then he shows up on Amazon documentary and says, you know, he hates the January transfer window.
Can't believe that.
It's part of your job, you know.
Jesus.
It's half of his job.
Doing an Alex.
And we have a guy in charge of the transfer window, and he says he hates half of it. You know, the January transfer windows for teams that are struggling, you know, panic buys, and it's definitely been us for the last 2 seasons. You know, January, we were looking forward to maybe getting 1 or 2 players in, and we have a guy who hates the window.
Yeah, but do you know why we have him? We have him because no one else wants to work with Daniel Levy, and and you know, people don't want to work
No,
with
it's
him.
not true, because Paratici, one of the best in Serie A, is coming to us, so people want to work with this club.
Hopefully, yes, I agree. Now, hopefully, it's because we're starting to change. But the reason why we're in this mess is because Daniel Levy got us in this mess. So hopefully now
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that.
Did you remember? As I said, do you remember our last DOF when we were good under Poch? Do you remember why he left?
I don't agree with that statement. You know, we got to a Champions League final. We got to a Champions League final, and everyone thought we're going to kick on and we're going to be, you know, we're going to fight for the Champions League the following season. We're going to fight for the league. That's what everyone thought. And during the summer transfer window, I was so happy with the signings we've made. And I thought these guys are world class, you know, in Ndombele, the videos we saw, and it just didn't happen.
But we were still woeful in I know we got to the Champions League final, but we were woeful in the league. Let's not forget
the Champions League final, it twisted our priorities. You know, my priorities before the Champions League final was finishing above Arsenal, having a cup run, and being in the top 4. All of a sudden, not winning things became a problem, because all of a sudden it twisted everyone's priorities. Why aren't we winning trophies? Why? We haven't won trophies in years.
Years. How many years, Chris?
It wasn't a problem when we had Harry Redknapp. It wasn't a problem when we had Tim Sherwood. It wasn't a problem when we had AVB. But because we had so much success under Poch, and it twisted everybody's priorities. All of a sudden, top 4 is a must, and we must win trophies. It's not a God-given right to be in these places. Pochettino and his teams worked so hard to get us where we were. It wasn't. Yes, we've been let down by the recruitment.
No,
yes,
but
and I think if the recruitment, I think the board and Daniel Levy and the recruitment let us down. Yes, and they admit it. They've admitted that they made a mistake. Yes, and they're trying to fix it. There's
how? If we don't get Conte, how we trying to fix it?
How? They're trying to fix it. They've admitted. They've let a statement saying they let out a statement saying that they've made mistakes and they're going to fix it.
Put millions into the club just because they spoke. I can let out a statement.
I'm having some more sweets. This is brilliant.
Listen, if we
get going nowhere in this chat. They've let out statements saying what they've done wrong and how they're trying to fix it. They said they want a manager similar to Pochettino's style. They've said, did you not read his statement? He said what he's done wrong, and they're trying to move forward. They've already got a guy who's going to be in the board that already shows that the club admitted it needs help in that part of the club.
I'm not denying they want to, but I'm saying until I see it, I don't believe anything they say in a statement.
Okay, it's not officially signed, but once he's signed, then it shows that the club is starting to move in the right direction.
We need Conte, I believe you. If we get Conte,
Melvin, what gives you the belief that Levy's going to do the right things at the moment? Sorry, Elena, but what do you believe in Levy at the moment when he's had 20 years, right, to get it right? And he's done it. Just before you finish, he's done it wrong with Martin Jol, okay, because he sacked him at half-time when he should have backed him. He's done it wrong with Pochettino, okay, and Harry Redknapp, okay, when we're on the cusp of doing something. Okay, so how can you think that it's going to go right now at the moment when he's made a statement that you've just mentioned right now, saying that we need to go back to our identity, okay, and he's gone now and gone right back to back on his statement now, backtracks on his statement now because he wants to get Conte now. So how can you believe in him right now? And especially,
I'll tell you exactly why I believe in him, because when we had when Martignol was sacked, we got Juan Ramos, and he didn't work out, and we thought, oh, what are we going to do now? But then Harry Redknapp came, and he got us into Champions League football, and then he got sacked, and we got AVB, and we went backwards. Then what happened? Oh, we had Tim Sherwood for a while, but then we got Pochettino. We always make one step backwards. We realize our mistakes, and we move forward. As a club, in 20 years, we went from finishing 16th, 15th, 14th, 13th. We're always rising. We used to complain about not getting into the Europa League or not getting into Champions League. Now it's all of a sudden it's a must. As a club, we're moving forward. It's just this last step is the hardest to make. It's easy to make European football, to make the Europa League. It's doable to do a Champions League run, to get into the Champions League. You know, West Ham got into the Europa League. That was their goal. You know, they made a big
They weren't
fuss
far
about
off the Champions League, were they? They were close, man.
the last step as a club is the most difficult to get right. Yeah. It's the most difficult. It's to become a winner. It doesn't happen overnight. Yes, we've made strides forward and we've made strides backwards. But now, in my opinion, every single time we've made mistakes, we've corrected them and we'll grow as a club. We'll move forward. The next season will be fine. Trust me, we'll be fine.
Are you not? Because I'm confident we're going to get Conte in, but a big part of that is because of
even if we don't get Conte, we're still still progressing as a club because they realize they've made mistakes and they need help, and we'll move forward and we'll be fine.
There's a point now on screen from MS, and it says that Conte will finish holiday and then sign on Monday. Yeah. And then Stephen writes here, guys, Conte isn't coming to us. He is a winner. The board don't want to win anything. Where is all this money coming from for a rebuild? Now, let's start with Melvin. Just very, very quickly, all four of you, tell me whether you are 100% confident that Conte will be the next Tottenham Hotspur boss. Melvin?
No, I actually don't think we're going to sign him. I'll be honest. I don't think we're going to sign him. I don't think we match the ambition of Conte. I think he sees that. I think anyone can see it. I think all the clubs would be so jealous. You know, Arsenal fans, you know, they have a PE teacher as a manager, and all of a sudden we have Antonio Conte. You know, Manchester United have Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as manager, and all of a sudden we have Conte. You know, Conte is an elite manager. He would be up there with Pep Guardiola and Klopp. He's that level of manager. But I don't think we're right now in a position where Conte would be perfect, for example, in 5 to 10 years' time, where the club is financially stable, the pandemic is over, we have, you know, there isn't this uncertainty with COVID, and we have, you know, our revenue coming in. We're not losing 200 million a year. We have the naming rights settled, where we're making money. You have to see the financial side of it. We're a valuable club, but we're not a rich club, and people need to understand that. Our money is £1 billion sitting in Tottenham, and it's not making 1 cent for a year and a half. But
Melvin, because you've said no, you don't think Conte's coming. Who do you think is coming?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know.
Who would you like to come?
I'm happy that we've got someone in the board that, you know, he was at Juventus and they won 9 leagues in a row. He knows how to assemble teams that win. And Juventus don't have enough. They don't compete with England with money. England clubs, they make a lot more money through broadcasting. There's a lot more money in the UK. They cannot compete. But Juventus somehow stayed relevant in Europe, and they've competed. Look at them. They won 9 leagues in a row. The Italian clubs, the others, AC Milan and Inter, cannot compete with Juventus financially. That's why they're trying to build a new stadium over there so they can compete. And this guy somehow kept Juventus relevant in Europe for 9 years. They got to Champions League finals. They've won leagues consistently. And now we have this guy next to Daniel Levy. So I don't know. Hopefully it works out. And hopefully, it gives whoever's the next manager a helping hand, because he needs it. We have to get the recruitment right this summer, and it needs to be done creatively, because I don't see them pumping 120 million into the squad. Whatever money we generate from sales, I can probably see 80, 90 million being added to it at most.
Melvin, just give me a name. Who would you like to see as the next Spurs boss?
For me, it's Marcelo Bielsa, who I would want, but because I think he's the closest thing to Pochettino, and I just like the way Leeds play.
Gary, let's come to you. Do you think this is happening, Antonio Conte? Do you think he's going to be the next Tottenham Hotspur coach?
The day after Mourinho was sacked, I said Conte. I said Conte before his name was ever mentioned.
But do you think it's going to happen?
I think it's already happened. And I think he is the new Tottenham manager as we speak. And I think a big part of that is because of Fabio coming as well. And I think it's a done deal. I genuinely think probably on maybe Monday he'll be announced. And I think he's our manager. And I think it's the right move. And I think that's what we need to do. We need to be brave. We need to go big. And we need to bring in Conte. And like what Melvin said, yeah, it would piss off Arsenal and everyone else on that. But that's where we need to be going. We can't be making do with, Eddie Howe's, Parker's, Potter's, whoever. We bring in Conte, we back him, and that's the end of it. And we move on. And why can't we get top 4? And you know what? Let's win the Europa Conference Pick and Mix Cup. I'll be happy with that.
It's quite pretty as well.
Yeah, it's good. Actually, I think that. It's quite a nice trophy.
It's like a vase. It's actually quite.
It looks much better than the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup, doesn't it?
It does. No, I actually agree.
Yeah, it is. I did say that. And it's still a European trophy. I put that above the Carabao and the FA Cup.
Arsenal don't even have one.
I'll tell you what, Eleanor, I don't think Melvin would be buying you any flowers to put in your vase.
No, I like that statement. It's funny. It's true as well. It's a very good point.
Eleanor, let's come to you. Before I ask you that same question, whether you think Antonio Conte is going to happen or not, Jerome writes a comment here. We want to win and we want trophies. Of course we do. Stop with all the financial nonsense. We're the 10th richest club in the world. Enoch and Levy are just greedy. Your thoughts on that?
I mean, I don't know about greedy. I just think they will never take the risk. I think it's different to say greedy and there's different to take risk. They won't take the risk to win something because the financial risk is too far. They would rather, be...
Jose Mourinho was the biggest risk they ever took. That was a massive risk. They sacked Poch to get Jose. That was a risk.
Can I? A finished Jose is very different to a prime Conte, and I think that's your risk. A dinosaur Jose to a prime Conte.
Yeah, but we see that now. But
no.
When
finishing second.
Everyone was so happy when we got him in.
Yeah.
Finishing second.
I wasn't. I wasn't.
I'll tell you that right now.
And Chris knows as well.
No, finishing second and not backing and not getting a Manta signing is not taking a risk. We will never take a risk to win the league. We will always just literally be stable. All they care about is being stable, and we won't take the risk. So yeah, I don't know about being greedy. It's more you can't make they put their money into something that's always going to make more. The stadium will always make them more money. Doing everything, property wise, getting the NFL in, doing all that. Yes, they put money into the club as a brand because when they sell it, they're going to get 10 times more back. With buying players, you can't guarantee you're going to get that money back. It's a risk that you might win the league and then, you've won stuff and you've got money through that, but you can't guarantee you're going to win the league when you're competing against, as you say, City, Chelsea, United. You're competing against all these top teams, so you're never going to take the risk. So I don't
be brave. Be braver.
Yeah, that's what it is. I don't know if it's greediness or just, like you say, not being brave, and not taking that final leap. And for me, Conte is that leap. Take it and you back him. He will win you loads of things. But But yeah, I don't really. I just want to say, have you seen what Sky Italia have like Italy have put out?
No, what are they saying now?
Antonio Conte remains unconvinced that Tottenham are ready to win trophies immediately. The club would not pressure him to win trophies. That's a problem. Why aren't the club pressuring him to win trophies? That's what I want. I want them to pressure.
Yeah.
I also just want to pick up on a point. You said Conte's the manager for 10 years time. I'm not waiting 10 years time to get.
I'll be dead in 10 years.
I'm sorry, like I just think that's ridiculous. I don't care about financially stable. I don't care about self-sufficient. I want to win.
Yeah.
I don't want to wait 10 years to get a manager of the Conte. So
we've already waited 13. We can't wait another 10.
I'm sorry. I'm not waiting 5 to 10 years, as Melvin said. I'm not. I refuse to be okay with that.
It's not realistic.
I just want to say hello to Anthony Costa, good friend of the channel. Anthony, welcome to the show again. Thanks for coming on.
How you doing, Eleanor? How are you?
I'm good.
Your
I'm good.
thoughts, Anthony? Your thoughts, Antonio Conte, Anthony? Is it happening? Do you want it to happen?
Oh, I thought it was talking about Graham Potter. Sorry, boys. I've got the wrong chat, and I.
Yeah,
Is this no? Listen, we've spoken so many times, Chris. And all right, lads, how you doing? Nice to meet you all, Gary and Alex.
Hello, mate. All right.
And Melv, obviously, yeah. Obviously, he's the right man for the job. I was listening to before what Eleanor was saying. She's 100% right in terms of the man's in his prime. He just won the Serie A the other week, and he left because they wasn't backing him. Yeah. He wants to come to Spurs. You can see it. Why have we got this director of football coming in if he ain't going to come? The director of football ain't going to come if, no disrespect, if Graham Potter or Scott Parker's going to be there, or Eddie Howe.
Exactly.
What is this? Are we going backwards now? We need to go forwards. It's a joke.
Exactly.
We need to act like do you know what I mean, Gary? We need to act like a big club.
That's what I said.
I'm fed up of being a banter club, mate. Got to be brave.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I'm hearing a lot of my mates work for Sky, and I'm hearing he's very, very nervous because he can't see whether this team, this squad of players, are gonna win the league or gonna challenge, and that, as a fan, is scary.
Yeah,
because go on.
But Anthony, sorry to interrupt you. Why would you want to come to Tottenham? This is why I ask Tottenham fans all the time. Why would you want to come to Tottenham when Pochettino, Mourinho, especially Pochettino, who should have got backed, and then a manager like Mourinho who's won everywhere he's gone, even though I couldn't stand him, right? And we sack him after the cup final. That behaviour, which was disgusting in my opinion still, why would he want to risk his reputation coming to Tottenham, seeing that sort of behaviour from those two managers coming in? That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying at the moment. And that's why I couldn't believe it.
Money and challenge.
It's challenging, mate. It's the challenge, and I think it was Gary was saying before I came on about, or I don't know if it was you, Alex, about we've been top two, we've been third under Poch, and we play some good football, and obviously we're not going to talk about that. But what I'm trying to say is you've got to move on. You have to crack on. You have to back this manager. If he comes in, I repeat, not going to be happy if it is not Antonio Conte. I'm not going to be happy. Because I'm fed up of being the nearly men.
Andy, the day after Mourinho got sacked, I called it. Even on the show on the 12th man podcast, I said Conte for the job, and people were laughing at me. People were laughing at me because they were saying he's too big for the club. Now,
I get that as well. I got that as well.
You know, like you just said, he's obviously interested in the job. Fabio is signed already anyway.
This is what I don't understand. Why are you coming? Why have we got Fabio? I can't pronounce his surname, so you got excuse me.
No one can. Paratici or something, or Paratici.
The thing is,
Paratici.
The thing is, Daniel Levy tried to get him at the club 5 years ago, and it didn't happen. And that would have been under Maurizio Pochettino. So Fabrizio Romano has come out and said today, you know, he's going to come to Tottenham whether Antonio Conte gets the job or not. I think it's just the icing on the cake if they work together because they know each other very, very well. But it's all about the backing.
I think it's a done deal. I think
that's like me going into another band because I like their music better than mine, but I ain't going to fit because I can't sing like them. Yeah. Do you see what I'm saying? It's a joke now. I'm fed up with it. No, it's true. Melv, it's true. Well, you laugh, but it's true though. Yeah. If you're getting a director of football in,
perfect analogy. Perfect.
If you're going into the new club, this Federico guy, he's coming in. Go and get Antonio Conte because that's who he's worked with. They know each other inside out.
That's it. That's it. Simple as that.
I do not want to see anyone else apart from Conte next week, and I'm fed up of it now, man. 7 weeks.
And Anthony, I called it from the very get go because it was just all the names that were coming out the draw with all these names of the managers that were coming out the draw. It was just shown that they just didn't know what they were doing whatsoever, and it was becoming a joke.
Yeah, but do you care if they knew what they were doing if we go get Conte? Because
but Eleanor, we've been lucky with him. But Eleanor, come on now, Eleanor.
Hold on.
I will praise Enoch for waiting if we go get Conte.
But Eleanor, seriously, please tell me, don't tell me that they knew what they were doing. They were lucky.
I don't care.
Yeah, but Eleanor, it's just been lucky that the fact that he's. And the thing
I don't care.
And the thing that worries me, though, he left Inter Milan, right, because he wasn't getting backed, right? What is he going to do when he comes into Tottenham?
He's not coming here for a 5-year plan.
He's coming into Tottenham, okay, first month or the first month or first 6 months, and then the summer, the January transfer window, and he doesn't get what he wants. He might think, do I need to do this? Do I need this for my reputation?
Oh no, he will walk. That's the type of, but he's that character, which I don't mind. I don't mind that. I don't mind him calling out. I want a manager with big balls. That's what I want. I'm fed up of. I don't want a yes man.
We don't want a right Mason.
As I said, I want it in the contract that he has to spend 200 million. I want it.
Well, that's the only way it's going to happen. That's the only way it's going to happen. Because, like, as far as I'm concerned, you can't have Mourinho.
I don't think the conversations would have been happening with Conte in the first place, and Fabio wouldn't be signing coming over unless those conversations have happened. You know, it's obviously doable.
Do you think it will happen?
Yeah.
Mourinho told Levy that he.
Do I think it's going to happen?
Players with
And totally do you think he's gonna sign?
Do you know what, Melf?
Knowing Levy and the way he operates and the way the club operates, do you think it's going to happen? No. Yes or no?
I can't see it at this present time. As I'm talking to you tonight at 9:45 at night.
Neither can I can't see it happening.
Melv, I don't want to see this. I don't want to see a Twitter post going, guys, fans, thank you so much for your patience. We've been really, really trying our hardest to get our man over the line, but unfortunately, we haven't done it. Please welcome Scott Parker with like a strong arm emoji and come on, you Spurs. I don't want to hear it, mate.
But by the way, I just need to say this though. Right? Levy should be done at Tottenham after the Mourinho thing, yeah? Because I'm sorry, right? That was his choice, right? And the way he treated him, I'm not saying that, like I said, I couldn't stand him, right? I'm not gonna be a hypocrite. I wanted him gone, right? But the point is, where was the logic of what he was doing when he sacked Pochettino because he wanted Mourinho? He should have been gone after that, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah,
so,
I think
I've had enough of him now. I'm sorry, because Leicester City winning the FA Cup cut me up so much. I'm sorry, I keep on saying it, but that's excusable. That's not an excuse for me at the moment.
But didn't Chelsea win the Champions League hurt you more, Alex?
Yeah. Well, what I'm saying is because for me. The thing is, though, the Champions League, for me, whether we won or lost, it was a statement regardless we got to it. What we needed to do was refresh, like Liverpool did. They lost their final, they refreshed. Yeah. We didn't do that. We didn't follow their lead.
We haven't done it, though, Alex. We haven't done that. Alex, we haven't done that since Harry Redknapp days. That famous January transfer window where he wanted Suarez or Tevez off. I think it was Suarez and Gary Cahill. Yeah. He was flying at the time at Bolton, and we obviously got Saha and Nelson. This is what I'm saying. I'm fed. Yeah, go on.
Anthony, just want to talk about the club direction, right? Jerome writes on screen now. The club
didn't invest in any.
Well, exactly. The club didn't invest in any players for over 500 days. We haven't had a manager now in over 40 days. How is this moving forward? Now Antonio Conte doesn't want to come because he doesn't believe that we can win things. Now, if Antonio Conte is not the next Tottenham Hotspur head coach, or it's not another big manager that everyone's expecting, and it is someone like Scott Parker or Graham Potter, what next, Anthony? Because
we're going to have to just suck it and see, because it is going to be a horrible, bumpy ride. And I think if we scrape a Europa League place, for example, I don't want us to all be sitting here going, "Oh, what a great season we've had, guys and girls. We've been brilliant, and it's been great. You know, we beat Burnley 2-0, or we beat West Brom." I just want us fans to stick together now and make sure that our voices are heard. I'm not going to start preaching because I'm not about all that. But I am fed up now of 20 years, of seeing the likes, as Alex said, the likes of Leicester building, the likes of Liverpool selling their best player and building, the likes of Man City. Obviously, they've got their money, but they're still always building. They've never been complacent. We've been complacent. We got to a Champions League final, as Alex rightly said, and we didn't build from that.
No.
And Poch got the tin tack because he said that it's a house. I don't know. A house is not a home or something, or about the furniture or something.
Furniture and that.
Yeah.
What were you saying this summer when we signed Lo Celso and Ndombele?
What did I say?
Weren't you happy with that window?
No.
Yeah, but we should have got rid of Ericsson and Alderweireld, bruv. We should have got rid of Alderweireld and Ericsson. That was the point. That was the point.
At the time, and me as well, I was so happy with that transfer window. And
but he didn't sell the players that we did. We should have sold Ericsson and Alderweireld and Vertonghen. That was the point. That's the problem. That was the problem with that season.
At the time,
we all want the same thing, right?
Lee McQueen called them the contract rebels.
We had to go further, but listen, this is the last chance now. If Conte is not signed, like Anthony said, it's going to be a bumpy ride. We have to make this appointment because that's when things can take a dramatic change. And like what Melvin said, you know, the Arsenals and Man Cities and everyone will take note. It's a big statement if we bring in Conte, and I think he's the right man for the job. And I said it the day after Mourinho got sacked. They've got to do it. They've got to be brave, and Levy's got to back him and all the rest of it.
Yeah, Gal,
let him bring in his entourage, and then let's just go for it. Because if we don't, it's going to be another shit show next season.
Right, I know what you're saying. Gal, coming on to what Mel said, and we sort of diverted there. The Lo Celso deal, the Ndombele deal. Now, if I remember, it was the year, it was that transfer window of the famous Dybala deal, wasn't it? Where he was coming and he wasn't, and he was flying and he wasn't, and da-da-da. Personally, for me, Dybala all day long over them two. On Ndombele, you can see he's got a bit about him. He's got ability, as we all know, but he can't last the 90. So you've been here 2 years, my friend. You can't last the 90. Lo Celso, you're like a Lamella Mark II. You're another Lamella. And we've always missed out on these players. The Fernandes, who was coming to Spurs. Certain players that I've known over the years that were at the club training ground about to do the shirt reveal, and they get a phone call from their agent going to another club.
Yep.
And it's just...
You know what it is? We should have gone and got Cavani. If we're a serious club, go get Cavani. If you want a good backup striker, go get Cavani. I said it at the time.
Yeah, that's a good shout.
I'm not gonna lie, I actually did say it at the time because I love him. I said it at the time. Go get Cavani. Get Bruno Fernandes. Get the long shot merchant. Why are you getting? Why not? Why we just made a Champions League final? So and now I realise why you said Dybala didn't want to come because you know you back our owners. So I get.
But again, Eleanor, we had that. But Eleanor. But what I'm trying to say is, Eleanor, when we have a great target, we never go and get that certain target, do we? It's always who's
like him, cheaper and younger.
Exactly.
Who's a bit like that player, but a bit
exactly.
Can I make one point? Can I ask you guys one thing? The statement the Sky Italia sent out and said that Antonio Conte doesn't believe the current squad can win the league. What? It's not really Daniel Levy's fault then. He's just saying that there isn't a squad that's good enough right now. So it's not like Daniel Levy or Spurs, you know, messed it up and they couldn't get it over the line. He's saying the team isn't good enough. So there's nothing really we can do right now.
Yes, there is, because you say I'll give you all the money in the world to get your squad to win the title. We'll be like, all right, cool.
But that's not what
he's looked at
in that statement. He's saying that the current squad, he doesn't believe is good enough to win.
Levy to say back to that, I'll give you the money then to buy your squad to win the league. That's what he wants Levy to say back to that.
Oh, the statement then would have been that the club isn't going to give me the money that I want.
No, but that's clearly what the issue is. The issue is that the squad isn't good enough, but I want to be able to get the squad that's good enough. That's what he was saying.
I don't know.
Anthony,
the statement is a bit...
The statement
Anthony,
is not.
so
The statement's saying your players are crap and I need better ones. That's pretty clear. But I don't understand. You don't need them to say that.
Eleanor's brutal, you know. Eleanor's brutal.
Do you know what? I've really struggled to get a word in on this stream.
Mel,
I just
You know what?
Anthony,
Yeah, man.
we
Yes,
spoke
mate.
on the phone earlier, and we jokingly said this, that what Jerome has put on screen. If we don't,
Oh, Ryan
land
Mason, brilliant.
I'm
Great.
convinced the board
Yeah.
is going to give Ryan Mason the job
Let's
for the
do
full
it.
season.
Let's do it, man.
I actually said, you know what? I actually think that as well.
Let's do it, guys.
And honestly,
Let's do
if that happens, you know what? Mourinho is laughing at us at the moment. He's actually laughing at us. We're actually paying him while he's at Roma. That's how joker we are at the moment. You know, we sack him. He's got another job. He's laughing at us.
But you know
that's how funny this is now.
If we would have won the Carabao Cup and got top four, Ryan Mason would have been our manager. I think it's a good thing it went as bad as it did, because that's the only reason we are.
This is another thing, Gal. You know, when I was on the show with Chris the other week, I want to put something else to you. If we would have scraped top 4 with this squad at this present time as we're talking, he would have got the gig. And I think it would have been the worst thing. Yeah, it would have been the worst thing for our squad, because he wouldn't have built.
I know it's the old saying, Andy, but sometimes you've got to hit rock bottom before you can get back up. And the fact that we got as bad as we did, and we scraped the Europa Conference, whatever it may be, is the reason why we are going to appoint Fabio and Conte. Because let me tell you, if we'd have won that Carabao Cup or got top 4 or either or, Ryan Mason would have been our manager. He still would have been having his holiday with Harry Winks, and then we'd have been coming back and he would have been playing the same players. If Conte comes in with a set of balls, he'll kick some players out and bring in some new players. And that's what this team needs. I'm sick to death of being Spursy. I'm bored of it.
I know.
I've had enough, man. It's boring.
I know, mate. I've called it so many times. Eleanor will back me up, and Chris will back me up. If you want to earn a living, just phone me up the day before a game, and I will tell you who's going to score against us.
Everyone talks about the Tottenham way.
The Newcastle one, I couldn't believe.
All the Tottenham way in DNA. All everyone wants to see is we just want to see us winning. I don't give a shit how we do it. We just want to start winning games. I don't give a monkey about what's the Tottenham way. The Tottenham way or the DNA hasn't been since probably the 1960s. Yeah, there's been nothing.
The DNA
the Tottenham way.
Winning. The DNA.
Just bring in Conte, bring in Fabio. Get rid of. We don't have to go through the players. We know who's got to go, and just bring in some players, and that's the end of it.
Do you think Winks gets another chance?
No.
You know what? I have an argument with David about him, because me and him go on about him all the time. But we do need to let him go. We do need to let him go, because he's not very good. But you know, there's certain players that are good.
So do you reckon Dyer and Sanchez will be able to compensate each other instead of going to get Skriniar and Bastoni? I mean,
Dyer needs to go. He's a foreign player anyway, so you know it helps to let him go anyway.
But you know what though? Like we laugh and we joke, but if a Potter comes in, that's what players are going to stay.
Yeah, 100%. That's what I said to Eleanor today.
Yeah, they're going nowhere. So unless this appointment is made and Conte comes in with Fabio, we've got the same team and the same shit when it starts again. That's why no matter what it takes and what it costs, it's got to be done. But you got to take
all I can say is,
as well. You know,
Emmanuel, sorry, mate. Is he on a wind up? Chris, you're on a wind up, mate. Come on, son. Come on, you're being silly now. You're being silly.
Harry Winks had the assist of the season.
Anthony, there are a lot of Harry Winks fans out there.
Okay, let's move on. So Brentford next season, yeah? Are we saying Ivan Toney hat-trick against us? Brentford.
Go for it.
Honestly, I don't think. Honestly, like I said to you before, and I'm going to stick to what I said before. We are in big trouble next season, and I'm not just talking about mid-table next season. Honestly, if we do not sort this out, because honestly, all we are talking about at the moment is Harry Kane, and like I said, he is not the issue. He is not the issue.
No, out. I've been sorry to cut you there. I'm gonna say something. He is the pinnacle. He is the route to our manager selection, because if he's going to be sold, right? Antonio Conte, for example, has come in and gone, "Are you going to sell Harry Kane, Mr. Levy?" No, we're not. I want that in writing. I would love to see that in writing, because if that doesn't happen and Harry Kane goes on the 31st of August, Eleanor will back me up, on deadline day, like what Berber did to us all them years ago. I'm not saying Berber and Kane are the same players, but left us and we've got no one. That's bang out of order. I'll be so upset, mate. But so you've got to start now. This is what I'm saying. Everton are acting like a club now. Gal, Everton are acting like a club. They ain't got a manager. Ancelotti is gone, right? They've already put some of their players on the transfer list today for next week because that's when the transfer. That's a proper club. We're still mulling about Conte coming, Conte going. He's not coming. He's on a plane flying over. He's at the training ground. He's holding a T-shirt. I got mugged off the other day. I got sent
You raised a good point there because you've got players like Serge Aurier that have openly been saying for the last 3 years they don't want to be at Tottenham, and we've still got him. Like, how can you have a player saying he doesn't want to be at the team and you're still playing him? Get rid of him. Someone will take him to PSG.
But the point I'm making is the point I'm making is though, because this is where we're losing translation here. What I'm trying to say is when we're concentrating so much on Kane, the team's not getting sorted at the moment.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? And that's the thing. And it screams out 2008, 2009 Berbatov.
Yeah,
it screams it out.
Exactly.
I don't know what else to say on it. And it's like he's not the issue because he's got 3 years on his contract. All you need to say is you need a plan whether he's going or staying. We don't even have a plan whether he's staying or not. You know what I mean? You see, and this is where I'm going mad here. People can't see it. Honestly, cannot see it. We'll talk about Gareth Bale, who's finished. He's finished. Like I would say, I called it for straight up. I said, why are we getting Gareth Bale for? Why are we going for nostalgia signings for? What's the point?
Yeah, but
what is the point?
I know, but it's what we're about, though.
We're not playing Bergwijn. I heard somebody on this channel saying Bergwijn should go on loan. I mean, are you having a laugh?
Alex,
are you having a laugh? Anyway,
Alistair Gold's just tweeted about the Conte situation.
What's it gone?
Oh, it's really long. It's really long. I'll read it to you. Right. I'll read it.
Well, go on,
Can we have the news at 10? Can we have the news at 10?
Let me have it on screen.
Sorry, when having a nice day off, albeit with the rain, Spurs felt they were close with Conte and had positive talks. Now all these reports have come from Italy. Seems unlikely that he had only discovered late in talks that Spurs aren't flush with huge transfer funds. This is the Conte way with the demands, and as he is a top manager, he's shown what he can do if he gets his way. And if he doesn't, the problem is that Kane is that unless Kane goes or they sell naming rights, Spurs don't have any money without sales. Interesting to see what Conte decides. In good news, as reported elsewhere, Fabio is expected to join Spurs soon regardless. Understand that he's already begun planning potential sales for Tottenham and targets with those funds. Steve Hitchen is currently expected to remain within the structure. Interesting to see how much stray Paratici will have in helping getting Conte over the line. The two are close friends and the former Juventus men will be keen to work together again. But Fabio will also know whether Conte can or will work within Spurs' means. Interesting days ahead.
Wow.
Melvin, let's come to you. Fabio Paratici, if he comes into the club, what's the first thing he does? If you were writing his to-do list...
You asking me?
We'll go to Melvin first. Go
Mel. Go on.
One of you, but what's going to be on his to-do list? Seriously, all joking aside, serious to-do list.
Okay, sell 4 or 5 players out the door. At least minimum. The first one gone: Harry Winks, Sissoko, Lamela. For me, because we have replacement, we have Sessegnon coming in, so I would sell Ben Davis. He's a good player, but we have cover. We have Sessegnon, who's younger, and we have Reguilon. So I would sell him. We need to sell. We need to get rid of these players. They're toxic. They're not good enough. They're probably the reason Pochettino got sacked. And we need to move these guys on. That's the first thing I would do. The second thing I would do, sign, decent young players. I think at this point, anyone will improve our squad. Anyone that comes in. People say Højbjerg was a brilliant signing. In my opinion, he's a bit above average. Would he have gotten into the 2017 squad that Pochettino had when we had Wanyama and Moussa Dembele?
No.
No, he wouldn't. So he hasn't really improved us.
He just looks good in the
team above average. He's above average. He's not a signing that's going to win us the Champions League.
Yeah.
He needs guys around him. I think at this point, anyone makes us looks better at this point. Anyone. They mentioned Anderson that wants to stay in the Premier League.
Good player.
Good player. Improves us instantly.
Basuma improves us.
doesn't break the bank. They need to be creative with whatever money we have. Listen, we're not going to spend 200 million. We're not. It's not realistic. It's not. You know, we've lost 200 million in lost revenue. We're not. There's no money unless they need to be creative with the money. That's why Conte doesn't want to come now all of a sudden, because once he spoke to Levy and found out there's nothing to play with, he's like, why would I go there? I'll go to a club that has 150 million to play with and I'll go and win there. You know, he doesn't want a challenge. He wants it to be easy. Why would an elite manager go somewhere and make it, you know, hard on himself and be like, oh, I need to do it with, you know, average players. Pochettino did it with average players because at the time he was an average manager.
Yeah.
Just want to go to Alex. Melvin says about selling players. You know, we all say about, oh, we need to, you know, let these players go. X, Y, and Z players leave out the door. Who's going to want to come and sign these players?
That's the question. We've had this struggle. We've been struggling to sell players for how many years now? It's been well documented. You know, we couldn't sell Ericsson when we needed to get rid of Ericsson. We couldn't get rid of Alderweireld when we needed to get rid of Alderweireld. Vertonghen. So many other players as well, like Benyama, when we need to let go of them. You see, so we're going to struggle. I've heard as well, and which is a bit, well, I don't think it really makes a difference, but this director of football struggles to sell players. So that's going to be a bit of a problem as well. So it's crucial we get this sorted. But the thing is, though, we need a manager. You know, we do need a manager. But I think it's good that he's coming in because we need a strategy at the moment to move it forward. We need to start getting things done soon as possible because this can't continue. Because this can't be done over 2 weeks or 3 weeks. That's just doesn't work. It doesn't. In reality, it doesn't work. You know, we don't live in in different land here. You know, reality. You need time to do these things and plan these things. So, you know, there's going to be some slowness about it for me, but we do need to get things sorted and sort this structure out quickly. Now, the director of football is the right way forward for me. So that's why I'm saying it's interesting. They went for him 5 years ago. So, you know, this is where they're the way they want to go through this way forward. So for me, that's the right way forward for me. I hope to get rid of Steve Hitchin, but I don't think we're going to get rid of him. But this is the right way forward for me. And yeah, that's it really. But I do agree with what Melvin says about some of the players. I don't agree with Davis because Davis is a good player. I think he gets I think I've seen past games with him, and he's a good player for me. I think he gets he just gets it hard from Tottenham fans. So I just
said Davis, sell Davis because he's at an age where if we keep him, he's going to lose value. And we have Ryan Sessegnon coming in.
Ryan Sessegnon's not ready, mate. Ryan Sessegnon's not ready, mate. He's not ready. I've heard a lot of people.
First choice either.
Davis I'm sorry. I've got to say this. Sessegnon is not ready. I mean, if you have Conte in, it'll be interesting to see how he does it.
Have you seen him play this season?
Well, no, as I said before,
he's had a season abroad. He's had a season abroad on loan, and he's probably going to come back a much better player. He's bulked up, and he's going to be much better player, and he has much more potential than Davis. So whatever time,
but I want to keep him
in the Conference League and improve him for the future than play Davis.
I agree with you in that sense. But it depends on what the manager's going to do at the end of the day. But I'm saying to you now, right, if you've got somebody like Conte who wants to win now, right, I don't see him staying. He can go on loan maybe, possibly, but he's not ready. Davis is a good player, and I'm going to stick to that as far as I'm concerned. Trust me, mate, I can battle you all day long because I battle David Harris all day long with him. Honestly, you need to watch it. But like I said, yes, Sissoko needs to go. Aurier needs to go. Lamela with a heavy heart needs to go. I know he puts his effort in, but unfortunately needs to go. Who else is there? I think Vinicius is going as well. Bergwijn's a very good player. I think people have a harshness with him. I think he's had a hard season, so I think he needs to stay. Winks, I think, needs to go, unfortunately.
You keep Matt Doherty.
Matt Doherty's been given a hard time. I think he's been given a hard time. The fact is, Bell's been playing on the right. When he's playing on the right, which he should be not playing on the right, he should be up front because he's not.
Conte's done. It's not happening.
What?
Dan Kilpatrick, I can't say his name. He just tweeted saying, "Breaking: Conte told Spurs it's not happening as it stands."
Oh yeah, Tottenham have called off their interest to Antonio Conte. Oh my word!
Shut up.
No,
Yeah.
it's true.
I know it won't happen. I know it.
Oh, but Levy in it. I'm pissed off.
Nah, fuck off. Who said that?
Everyone.
Hang on.
Yeah, Dan
That's what I'm doing
Kilpatrick
here,
of
by the way,
the Evening
looking at-
Standard, he has just tweeted saying, breaking news, told Conte to Spurs is not happening as it stands.
Well, who are we going to get then? Rafa Benitez now? Who's coming?
I tell you, if we don't sign Conte on Monday, it should be announced on Monday. If we don't, we are fucked proper. Let me tell you. We need to bring in that man. That's the only man for the job at the moment. And if Conte don't sign on Monday, I mean, there's still a chance, but if he don't sign on Monday, we're in for a fucking really shit season next season. Let me tell you, because there's no one else. No one.
Gary,
Honestly, Levy's played a blinder. Levy's played a blinder on this one. I've got to be honest. Honestly, like you know, season ticket renewals and everything else, and he's played a blinder. Honestly. Oh my gosh, I cannot believe this. They were saying yesterday he was on the bloody plane yesterday. That's what they were saying. I said, oh, I need some evidence there.
Who was saying that?
People were saying that he was on the plane yesterday. Loads of people
I just saw
on saying
his little picture of him looking at the view and all that. But I know he is on holiday or away or whatever. I don't know. But everything I got told and I've read off all the other people have said, like Monday will be the day it's announced. But
until someone is there holding the shirt up, you shouldn't believe anything. I'll tell you what, Gary, let's stay with you. A comment on screen now. Daniel Levy is scared to sign Conte because if Conte fails, then two famous serial winning managers at our club, then all eyes are on him. Now, I don't even know what to say. If this Conte deal is off, then what? Because how many managers have Tottenham gone to? How many managers have we spoken to in the last 45 days? And how many managers have come out and said, no, actually, I'm not interested in the job? Where do we go now?
Well, I don't think we can go anywhere. That's why, no
you just told me it was happening. You told me it was definitely happening.
Listen, I'm fucking more reliable than that geezy get on the show every now and again. That Fabrizio fella. Don't worry about what he says, mate. He's just pulling your strings. It's going to happen Monday. It has to happen Monday. If it doesn't happen, put it this way. If this doesn't happen, mate, then Levy he's fucked. And I do think it will get to. I mean, I won't bother going down there protesting. I've got too much to do in the fucking day. But it will get to that, mate, because he's the only man you could have brought in. That's it. That was the perfect fucking replacement for Jose Mourinho. But just as much as it's been saying that he's dead on to sign by everyone, now we're saying it isn't. It doesn't mean it's dead in the water, does it? Because yesterday he was saying it was a foregone conclusion. He's definitely signing. So, as Spurs fans, we always think the worst and look doom and gloom. So there's still a bit of hope there, isn't there? He could still sign, especially if Fabio's come in and he's put pen to paper. I don't
understand if you got Fabio come in and you ain't got someone lined up and you're going to have a Potter or a Parker. That's a great duo, isn't it?
I can't see that.
Really got to attract a lot of players. Harry Kane's going to leave.
Him bringing in Fabio and then not bringing in fucking Conte. Just nah. I think Conte's coming in and it happens Monday. That's what I think. It has to. If it don't, well, I just feel sorry for the club, mate. Because if it don't,
Anthony, what are your thoughts?
You said, where do we go?
I don't know anymore, mate. It's just a joke.
We've lost Gareth Bale, we've lost players, and we've lost managers to other clubs before.
But who comes, Melv? Who comes?
Dan was told Spurs were concerned at some of Conte's demands during talks, including his reluctance to work with young players, and no offer was made. Widespread reports in Italy suggesting Conte has concerns about Spurs' proposal, so sounds like not enough in common ground to reach a deal.
I knew that was going to be a problem as well, to be honest. I thought that was going to be.
I didn't. Sorry, Ellen. I didn't hear what you're saying. Sorry, I was busy reading
basically,
texts. Sorry.
It says that we were concerned about his demands. He didn't want to work with young players, and no offer was made. Widespread reports in Italy suggesting Conte also has concerns about the Spurs proposal. So it sounds like there wasn't enough common ground to reach a deal.
Oh, okay. So Levy wants to. Okay. Oh, that's a shame, isn't it? Let's just get a yes man in.
Yeah, it's fine though.
Let's get a yes man.
In 10 years, we'll be
I'm probably
ready
going to end up with Scott Parker now.
Is that good enough?
No, it's not good enough.
Well, we'll get Scott Parker for a season until Poch is available again.
I thought that was going to be a problem though, because he wants young players to be, bring through young players, isn't it? So I thought that was going to be a problem. I thought
everyone's lost their energy all of a sudden.
Yeah, because I tell you what, because that was the final straw, innit? Because at the end of the day,
because I knew he wasn't going to come at the club. I knew the way the club operates.
If Conte don't come into this club and sign on Monday, whoever manager does come in, it's not going to be anywhere near.
We don't match a manager like Conte.
Otherwise, you're going to be really hard.
He's perfect for us, but the structure of the club, the way we are.
But
why
who
would
do
we come?
If it ain't
Exactly.
Conte along with Fabio working alongside him,
it was obvious. To me, it was obvious that he was never going to come here. To me, it was obvious that he wasn't going to choose us.
I mean, this club, man, it's a fucking joke, isn't it?
Why don't they go out? Are they not going all out for Poch then? Is that all done? Is that all done and dusted?
That's done. That's done.
That was
because Paris Saint-Germain will not let him go.
Unless Poch did what Ancelotti did and walked away.
Do you know what? Exactly, Eleanor. If Pochettino wanted to come back to Spurs, all he needs to do is come out publicly and say, I want to go back to White Hart Lane. And then Daniel Levy will go and get him. Because, many reports have come out saying that Pochettino was Tottenham's choice. That's who they wanted back. And then they've gone for Antonio Conte. And if it hasn't worked out now, and if it's not going to happen, then
I don't want
Tottenham.
I want Conte. I don't want Poch.
I don't care what you want, Gary. It's about what's best for the club. It's about what's
bringing Poch back now. Bringing him back now.
What's best for the club is Conte, not Poch.
Bringing Poch back now after 2 years is not the best thing for the club, Chris.
I agree with that.
Sorry, I'm going to say that again.
I'm going to go.
Bringing Poch back now is not the best thing for the club. It's not.
I agree with that.
See you later, Eleanor. See you, mate.
Nice talking to you.
I'm really upset, but yeah, bye.
Bye. Yeah, Chris.
Thanks,
honestly, mate, I just don't think bringing Poch back now is the right thing for the club. It really isn't. It's a wrong move. Maybe maybe in another 3 or 4 years, yeah, but not now.
Do you know what, Gary? I'm at the point where I don't know what's good enough for the club because, as I say, and I've said this many times in the last couple of months, I think there are so many problems, so many huge problems that need sorting out. Obviously, if this deal has fallen through with Antonio Conte, it's because they've had chats and they've said this is what I want and this is what we can offer. Blah blah blah. There are just so many problems, and
I just think, Chris, like what Andy was saying earlier and stuff, and even Melvin, that I think no matter what it takes, this deal does have to happen. One way or another, it has to happen, and I'm still confident that it will happen and it will be announced on Monday because there's no way forward other than Conte. Where do we go?
Yeah.
It's the only option we've got left.
Yeah.
Is Conte. There's nothing else.
It's done, mate. It's done. This club's done, mate. They haven't got a plan. They're going to get a young manager in that we're all not really happy with, but some people will because he's going to play nice attacking football and it's all lovely. And he's going to be able to work with Winks and Sissoko again and Lamella. And that's it. Recycle and repeat. Done with it. Done with them all.
Winks, please. I can't cope with it.
I know when I say this, I know what your face is going to be like. But when I spoke to Fabrizio Romano a couple of days ago, he did confirm that Tottenham wanted to talk to Graham Potter.
Oh,
so, is this type of manager that we're going to end up with?
No.
Well, if that's the sort of manager we end up with, then we'll just play mid-table football, and that's the end of it.
It's fine. He scraped relegation with Brighton. That's a great look.
Oh my gosh.
Kane won't stay. That's for certain.
No, definitely
Kane's
not.
gone. Kane's sitting in the England hotels now going, what, even Conte don't want to come. I'm done, mate. done.
You know yourself, Andy. You know yourself.
Anthony, that was done a long time ago, mate. That was done a long time ago, Kane.
Yeah.
Honestly, he did he went to leave last season.
But do you think, Alex,
so I mean, it was done. It was done a long time ago.
I think Jose would come back.
Alex, don't you think though, if Conte signed, it might be enough to keep Kane?
You know what? I think at the moment you've got to look at the age of him and everything else, his injuries and everything else. At the end of the day, he's got to think about himself, and he's looking at other people that have gone off, left the club already, and they've won big trophies already. You know what I mean? Like when everybody was saying that the Carabao Cup was going to, we were saying that if we win a Carabao Cup and get into Europa League, he's going to stay. I said no, he's not going to stay. He wants a Premier League. He wants a Champions League. You know, he's looking at someone like Vardy. He's won an FA Cup and a Premier League.
Yeah,
he's better than Vardy. No disrespect.
Yeah.
But half the players at Liverpool, he's better than them, and they've won a Champions League and a Premier League. I personally think if Conte signs on Monday, which I think he will, I think Kane stays for another year. But I think that's the only way he stays.
It's done, mate. Gal, it's done, mate. He's done. He'll go City. Yeah, good luck to him. Good luck to him. Deserves it.
What's he going to do when he goes another Euro and World Cup and he don't win nothing with England? Is he going to start playing for Scotland?
Gal, I don't know, mate.
Levy's got a lot to answer for at the moment. I've got to be honest now. I've had enough of him. Honestly, like this, I'm sorry. I don't care whether he's got the thing as well, man. I've had enough of him now, man, because he's done too many mistakes.
Listen, 20 years. If you don't do well in your job for 20 years, you get the sack. Right, enough's enough.
You know what?
It's time to go now.
I don't know about you lot, but I'm not really too concerned about the Harry Kane situation at the moment. The thing that needs to be fucking sorted is the manager's.
That's what I'm saying. But it's all. But Kane is pinnacle, mate. This is what I'm saying. If Kane's umming and ahhing, and Levy wants Conte to make our players the next, Winks the next Xavi and Sissoko the next Busquets, it ain't going to happen, is it? So, and Levy's like, but we've got some great players.
The only way Kane would have stayed was Conte coming in. I think that might have been just enough to keep him there for another year. Because at the end of the day, he's still in contract to fucking, 2024, whatever. He is still in contract at the end of the day. You know what I mean? And I think with Conte coming in and making big fucking moves, big decisions, that may have been enough. But if Conte
my mate now, he's going mental. He's going absolutely mental. And he's right. He's just paid for his season ticket. And Vlad's right. And Vlad's right. Absolutely spot on, mate.
But I think that was the whole Poch thing as well. Another smoke screen, wasn't it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Get the fans excited and stuff like all the nonsense. But I don't know. I just, I called Conte the day after Mourinho was sacked, but maybe I was just wishful thinking. But I genuinely thought the longer it went on, it was actually definitely going to happen because I thought he was the right man for the job because I just don't think there's anyone else. I think Poch will be the right man for the job in a few years, but not now. That's just my opinion. You know what I mean?
The problem is, mate, we didn't have a plan. That was the problem.
I'm gonna chip off, boys. I'm gonna chip off. But listen, you take care, you boys. Yeah. Chris, I'll speak to you later, mate.
It's been a pleasure talking to you, Anthony. Pleasure, man.
Melvin, what's next, Melvin?
I don't know. It's a shame, really, because he would have been the perfect manager, even though I didn't see it. I didn't see it.
Would have been perfect.
I couldn't see it actually, getting over the line. From day one, I thought, I was like, there's no way this is going to happen. There's no way. The way our club is run, Conte won't accept this. He won't. He left Chelsea because, the board didn't agree with him about something. He left Inter after winning the league because they said, we need to sell 80 million worth of players. He just won the league and, with a very good squad that he built. And he left, and all of a sudden he has to work with Daniel Levy, one of the most stubborn people, and I knew it was never going to work out. And apparently it's about working with youth players. Get Ryan Mason to handle the youth players, to develop them. If it's really about that, it's probably an excuse as well.
Yeah,
or it's about money. It was never, honestly, I don't think it was ever going to work out.
Another Poch thing, just fucking smokescreen. But I don't know, Chris. I really don't know what to say, mate, because I think everything was resting on us signing Conte. And the fact that we had signed Fabio, it seemed like it was halfway over the line. But I don't know where Tottenham go from here now. There's not one manager I could think that I'd bring in to replace Mourinho. I think it was a perfect fit. But now I don't know. And the thing is with a manager like that, you know, he can attract more players and stuff. You know, he's got a good record and he's present. He's not like Mourinho has been. You know what I mean? Good attacking football. I don't know, mate. It's not good times. It's not good times at all, mate. You know? Yeah, it's not good.
I don't know what to say. I really don't. It's funny as a Spurs fan, isn't it? You feel on a high some days. Yeah. You just feel super low some days. It's too much sometimes. And,
the problem is, though,
and we haven't even got football going on at the moment.
The problem is, like, you've spoken to what's his face now, Fabrizio, like what, 2-3 times on your show, and it almost seemed the deal was done. And then you go on Sky, you're on, you know, I watched TalkSport with Simon Jordan, and they were having a conversation about it. The deal seemed done. You go on Sky, it's like breaking news, and they bring your hopes up, and then bang. But the problem is,
in fairness, Gary, when I spoke to Fabrizio Romano, not at any point did he say the deal was done. He said the club have to back him 100%. He has to. You know, if he's going to go to Tottenham, he has to feel the backing, and he has to, you know, feel like he's going to get everything he wants there. You know, because he wants to win. It's all about the mentality of the players. Levy, he wants to win. So they clearly haven't given him what he wants, and you know, these talks have clearly broken down. But
I don't know.
I don't even know how to put a positive spin on this because.
There's no positive spin because
there is. We got someone in the board that knows football, that won 9 league titles at Juventus.
We got Fabio,
that's the positive thing to go on.
That's the positive. We got Fabio,
and that's
Fabio. You know yourself, Melvin, was with Conte throughout the whole of the Juventus situation. They come as a team. They should be there together. The fact that Fabio was signed to come in was, to me, it was almost a done deal with Conte. If that's now broken down, who works with Fabio? Fucking Graham Potter. Don't know. Who's going to be our manager, mate? You think Nuno, didn't you?
Alex, did you renew your season ticket?
No, I didn't have a season ticket, so I don't have a season ticket. So
I do VIP, don't I, Chris? So I pick and choose what games I go. But I'll tell you what, mate, I'll be picking and choose very wisely next season. But you know, the thing is, it's too much of a coincidence that yesterday there was so much on Sky and everything was going, and the Poch thing the last week, and it is the membership renewal and the season ticket renewal. And we've been here before with Levy, but I mean, I don't know, mate. It's just
yeah, I've got to go, but this is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's depressing, man.
Well, I never thought that.
It's a sad
I never thought this
situation
chat tonight would last over 2 hours 17 minutes. It's incredible.
It wasn't even a game.
It's not, but you know, when we're back in stadiums, hopefully I can go and, you know, meet up with you, Chris, and you know, we could have, you know, have a, you know, just have a chat, and hopefully it's not as bad as what I predict next season. But I can't change my prediction at the moment because this is now 50 days without a manager.
Yeah, but Alex, what you said earlier, at this rate, we'd be better going to the stadium to watch Craig David than Tottenham.
Yeah. yes. Watching Lady Gaga and stuff like that as well.
I mean,
you know what I mean?
You got to laugh because if you don't, you'll cry because this club is in an absolute fucking mess. It's a shit show. I mean, no other club has gone this long without a manager. And just when you think you're on the brink of getting one of the best managers in fucking world football, it just crashes. That is typical Spursy.
There's going to be some people that are very, very angry tonight, and I know some of them.
Yeah,
I know some of them, and there's one person who's particularly would have said, "Well, you know what? What do you expect from Levy? He's not a Levy lover at all."
Yeah.
And I actually, after the whole Conte links and stuff, I started to say, you know what? I actually understand why you feel like that now.
Yeah.
Because like, honestly, I'm done with him now. I'm done.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? It was done after Pochettino because I felt that he was very unlucky. Pochettino was so unlucky, and I think he deserved respect, and he was treated so badly, in my opinion. He did make mistakes, so I can't say that he didn't make mistakes because there were certain mistakes that he made over the season.
Yeah.
But I just can't forgive him for the way he treated Pochettino. Maybe even Martin Yeo and Harry Redknapp terribly as well, but Pochettino was the main one. But the way that he acted with Mourinho after a week before that cup final, when he should have kept him and had a plan in place, that's when I was just like saying, that's enough for me.
Alex, sorry to interrupt. Fabrizio Romano has just tweeted about the situation. And he's put Antonio Conte is not joining Tottenham at current conditions, confirmed. He's not convinced about the project and staff members. Big difference on salary proposal too.
Oh, there you go then. See, that's it. That's it in a nutshell, isn't it? Levy's not going to pay him. I heard earlier he was only letting him bring 4 people over rather than he wanted 7 or 8, and then it goes back to the money. But like I said, this club is they're not brave enough. At the end of the day, if they were brave and they put their hands in their pocket and they got Conte in, we might have seen a very different season next season. But I don't think we will, I'm afraid.
The tweet also does go on to say that Paratici is expected to still accept the Spurs job, and Spurs will now look for different managers.
Right, so he's joining, but it doesn't make sense if you have him in without Conte. Do you know what I mean? Them two would just be perfect together, wouldn't they? Surely Fabio would be able to fucking entice him in, but then it just boils down to money at the end of the day, and that's it. And if Levy's not meeting what Conte wants, as we know what Conte's like, but I just think Levy got it so wrong. So, like what Alex said, and Melvin, he got so wrong sacking Poch, appointing Mourinho. His really only get out of jail card was to appoint Conte and back him. If he's not going to appoint Conte and back him, and we bring in a different manager now, I don't think there's any way back. I'm afraid I can't see it. What's he do? Get Fabio to work alongside Brian Mason? I mean,
let's wrap this up. I just want to, final question for you all. With Pochettino out of the equation, with Antonio Conte now out of the equation, who do you want to see as the next Spurs boss? Melvin, let's start with you.
My heart says Bielsa. My mind says it's probably going to be Graham Potter.
Oh, fucking hell.
Can I just say as well, Fabrizio Romano has just tweeted yet again whilst we're here. He's put Antonio Conte wanted to bring in more than 4 staff members to Tottenham. Yeah. Spurs reluctant on this point. Salary proposal difference around €3 million. That was exactly the same as when I spoke to him the other day. So nothing has changed there. Investment and project to win as soon as possible. Another issue. That's why talks with Conte have stalled. No agreement.
I mean, is it dead? Is it dead and buried, or is there still a chance there?
Yeah, you think he would go back if he can't find a replacement or?
Well, there's quite a few things that need to change there. Antonio Conte wants to bring in more than 4 staff. Spurs don't want him to.
I said that earlier. Yeah.
There's a difference of €3 million a year that Tottenham don't want to pay.
Yeah, it's done. It's done. I think we need to move on from that at the end of the day. I don't know what else to say really. I think.
But all of these journalists have used the word stalled. They've not put it's totally out of the question. They've put it stalled. So it could
still happen Monday. If it does happen Monday, Chris, you got to get me back on. Because then I go up there with Fabrizio. I'm like that then. Do you see what I mean?
Do you know, Gary, all joking aside, I feel like I've done nothing but doing YouTube videos all week regarding this. And it's just so disappointing. Ending on a Friday night with such disappointment. You just think that, our weekend, a lot of us Tottenham fans, the weekend has just been ruined again. And we're all going into the weekend now thinking, oh, great, we've got no manager. The Euros start in 1 week, 1 week today, Friday, next Friday.
You're right, Chris, because as soon as the Conte sort of like, gossip and talk, whatever else, started accelerating, going more and more, I found myself becoming more happy, more positive, feeling better about the club and everything else, feeling good about the Harry Kane situation. And then obviously hearing what we've heard tonight, it drops you back down. But we're used to that. we always think the worst Tottenham, and it is always doom and gloom 9 times out of 10. But there still may be a possibility, and I would like and hope that Daniel Levy will meet his demands. And I know one of the demands was he wanted 7 people, and Levy said only 4. But if you're talking about whether you're bringing 4 or 7 people, I know we're talking millions of pounds, but when you're talking about a deal like that to bring in a world-class manager like Conte, is that a big deal? Can that not be met? Because for me, I think Daniel Levy needs to meet it, and he needs to make this deal work. Even if we only keep Conte for a year, you know, as long as we win something and get top 4, I think the job is done then, you know what I mean?
Yeah, do you know what, Gary? I'm so deflated. I can't. Not even me tonight can talk about trophies. I'm done.
Yeah.
Melvin, thanks so much for joining us tonight.
Thanks for the invite, Chris.
Gary, thanks so much as always.
Thanks, mate.
Nice
Always a
talking to you
pleasure.
guys.
And Alex, thanks very much. Nice to talk to you again.
Yeah, always a pleasure, Chris. Always a pleasure, Chris.
Well, I normally try and say something positive at the end of these videos, but I'm really struggling, really struggling. I just think that if Tottenham appoint someone like Graham Potter, I just think, you know, no disrespect to him, you know, he's a great manager at Brighton, and that's where I think that he should stay. If we appoint someone like that, I just worry about the club's direction yet again, because I think that this summer is absolutely huge for a club like Spurs.
Yeah.
You know, we need to appoint a decent manager.
Big manager.
We need to get players out the door. We need to get players in the door. So much needs to happen. I know a director of football is now coming in, Fabio Paratici. Can't even say his name now.
Just Fabio.
After 2.5 hours of
Fabio.
talking. So much needs to happen. Anyway, thanks so much for all of your support on today's video, all of the comments. You know, there's been thousands of comments tonight. Thanks so much indeed, and thanks so much to everyone who subscribes to the channel, shares the videos, etc. Really appreciate all your support. And I'll see you on the next video, probably tomorrow morning, with another Tottenham news video where we go again, and you know, lots of speculation about Graham Potter and Scott Parker and Jurgen Klinsmann and whoever else. You know, another 101 managers to talk about. Anyway, thanks for watching, and come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.